Morning.
Hello, good morning. Wow, this thing is still going up. We're moving up into the zone here. Let's take a look here. We have CAD CPI and we have the CAD interest rate. Oh, nice. Nice day today. CAD CPI and CAD interest rate.
Roger, you muted.
Me?
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, we have CAD CPI and we have CAD interest rates. They're keeping the rates the same. There are rumors they might reduce the rates. So we'll see what happens.
There's a lot of news.
Yeah. Gold is ranging. As you can see on the 4-hour, gold is in a range. $7 range.
DJ doesn't know what to do.
GJ is heading up.
But we need a retest, I think.
Yeah, so GJ is the target for GJ is 144.100. That's the target for GJ.
Since yesterday.
So if GJ is heading up, we need to identify where the support is going to be on GJ. And the way to identify a support on GJ, first of all, is going to be maybe if you look on the 30-minute, this right here, 143.880. This could be a good support, which means that this could be the 30-minute low. And the next candle can continue moving up. Or the second scenario is going to be where the next candle comes down, we have some bearish candles to make the support, and then continues up for New York Open. You get me, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, looks like it's just gonna start rallying to 144.100 now. No, man. Even if I was awake, I wouldn't have taken a buy after this candle closed because, you know, this candle closed with no top wick. So if someone is new to trading and they're watching this happen and they're getting FOMO, I'll tell you this right now. There's no such thing as FOMO. Can you post Zoom in Ted's chat? Man, honestly,
Today's chat.
I messed up. I messed up my passwords. I messed up my password for the Forex family email, and then I messed up the password to the. Oh, actually no. I still have it logged on in my phone. Yeah, you know, if someone is here in Zoom who is in Ted's chat too, can you please post a link there? That'd be hilarious. Oh, that'd be good. Because man, forgetting passwords is so bad. What's that noise in the background there? Alright, let's see someone's in charts here. Take a look here. USDJPY 30-minute chart. If 30-minute closes bullish, I'll take a look for 10 pips stop loss on the recent support. Yep, this makes sense. Perfect. That's good analysis, good anticipation. There's nothing more to add. You know what you're going to do. You know where your stop is going to be. So it's perfect. Did you hit the target 144 100 from the candles on the 17th January? Yes. So you go to the 4-hour and you start looking at these candles here. So this is the zone where it's going to head off to. Like it's bullish at the moment, so I mean it's going to head off to there. I have no FOMO in this because I'm an experienced trader. I've spent a lot of years in the market. Well, not a lot of years, 3 years. That's not a lot of years.
You're like 33, right?
Yeah. What does my age has to do with spending a lot of years in trading?
No, I don't know. Just came to my mind. Jesus.
You think GPJPY is oversold? No, pro trader. Pro trader, I think you should change your name from pro trader to new trader because, like things are oversold when you're looking at an indicator like stochastics, MACD, RSI. When you look at those things, then something is oversold. And when we don't have that on the screen, then there's nothing oversold. It's going up. It's not oversold.
What about Ichimofuku? Can that be oversold?
No, man.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on gold? I think you need to send a chart.
Yeah, Raja, I just sent you a chart on gold. I'd like to see if you see it breaking into a new zone.
All right, let's take a look here. Oh, we got 3 charts here. Oh, you're in cells.
No, I would wait for this 30 minutes to close and then a retest of one of those areas.
Yeah. Here. Like you're looking to come down till this area here. That's your top zone. Looks like it's kind of breaking. I mean, the way it's heading right now, it looks like it's kind of breaking down consolidation over here and over here. So yeah, that would make sense. Because like if you're looking for retracement, that would also make your stop loss tighter too. So that's good.
Yeah, I think it would be like a 17 pip stop loss if you were to wait for a 1556.7 retracement.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then the upside is much bigger too.
Oh, they don't like pips.
Ooh, this was previous low that was made yesterday. Was waiting for it to break. Kind of broke zone. Waited for a small pullback. TP just hit now. Oh, nice, man. Very nice. That means CAD pairs are dropping.
Yeah, it's still dropping hard.
Yeah.
Open.
Clean traffic to 144, 400. Yeah, I'm looking for. Oh man, see, G just reached 144, 100 here.
You guys stopped that already? You
No.
hit TP?
Oh, who?
You hit TP?
No, Mac. I don't think you're completely awake right now.
No, obviously.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning again.
Oh, Mac, you're everywhere, man.
I fell asleep, bro. I told you. I'm like 3 hours of sleep.
GJ, man.
Should I hold until 144 400 or should I close now?
Should I stay or should I go?
Should I? That's the question, Ricky. What should I do? What should I do?
Well, it depends where your entries are.
My entries were right after, 143 890.
Yeah, I think you can you can secure some positions and put stops at break even.
Yeah, you're gonna have some trouble right now. 144.10. Maybe it goes sideways or something. Yeah.
I closed.
Yeah.
No trouble.
Nice.
No trouble 2020. Be right back. Gonna go brush my teeth.
So the worst thing you can do right now is GJ is take a sell because it's that resistance, you know. You don't want to do that.
You're buying.
The trend is up. It broke above resistances. There's going to be a pullback. Price made a high, and I'm going to look for a buy from that pullback to continue moving up. Let's see if that, if that formulates today.
Yes, I've got the same plan. Rakeel, can you take a look at EJ?
You know, you should send a chart, right?
I know, man, but I want to explain it to you. For me, the daily is down.
Yeah.
Like and we are right now at support. If you look on 1 hour.
Yeah.
So can you just zoom out a bit?
The savage.
Yeah. Something like this.
Yeah. Nice.
Just start again.
Yeah, it looks good.
Thanks.
The most important thing is that, you should send a chart. That's the most important thing, because like at times I'm gonna be mentally focused over here, and when someone tells me to look at something, I'll be here, but my mind will be here.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
I won't pay attention to anything here, because my mind is already here, right? So when you send a chart like this, it's already marked, so it's easier to see, to read. This kind of close below one bearish candle. Now, where you going to? Where were you? Where if there were you? Wow, I would have entered right over here with a stop up over here. Because there's also resistance created. You got a bearish candle here, so that would have made much more sense. I think what's happening with GJ today is exactly what Ted was talking about yesterday, holding that buy position, hoping to reach 146 levels. Yeah, I think so too. I think this weekly wick is going to get filled at 144,500. Just need it to create another support like this and continue going up. That would be lovely.
Yes, it would be.
Getting another buy position soon. That would be good.
Yeah, I closed my buys. I got in during the Asian session.
Oh, nice.
But then it ripped down early in the morning, like around 2:30. It pulled back hard, so that stopped out a lot of things. Now it took off again in the last like 30 minutes, or like hour and a half.
Wow, they got it closed. The newest something told me to close.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh yeah, it was you, BP.
What up?
Hey,
Chris, have you seen GJ, man?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
look at his hand movement, like he's
Yeah, man.
That's it.
From the
man.
80s, from the
like
80s.
he's in the
Jackpot.
Wu-Tang Clan.
That's it, man.
Wu-Tang.
That's some jackpot moves. That's good, man.
Wu-Tang. Well, I closed at 144, 100, like that.
Yeah, I've closed most of mine. I've got one runner left now.
Oh, okay. 144, 400.
I was
Hey.
at 143, 450 last night.
Oh, I was at 365.
Why didn't you send a signal?
Where were you looking in Asian, Ted? Was that
Yeah.
Asian? Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as the new daily candle formed, I was
Yes.
hunting buys.
I was about the same position. I think I was looking at the 4 hours, the way they were forming, and I think that was. Hang on. Yeah, it's kind of where the 4 hours were forming, and I was just watching it on like 30-minute, and I see a kind of breaker structure at the bottom, which was quite. And I use like the daily low as such as my stop loss, and then sadly. The one I took then got stopped out in profit, but I took another entry after.
And then I took sales from there.
But yeah, it's been a good morning. So, and we had also got gold as well, which was quite good from, where was that?
Yeah, today's GJ candle did what I did today, what was supposed to happen yesterday.
Oh
Yeah, exactly, because it's the same,
Exactly. Yesterday was a massacre.
I was a bit cautious when it got to that zone. I was like, should I take a point here where I take an entry, or is it going to do me again like yesterday? And I was like, not sure. But I was in plenty before, so I was okay. But I was cautious of it maybe turning around at that point, but had a lot of momentum. And we started off higher in the chain as such.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, so
Yeah,
I suggest that we should probably fill that entire weekly wick.
Yeah, I was looking at about 500 level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the 4 hour, it's like literally a straight line from the resistance. And
Yep.
I have we're still waiting for that kind of close above 144 100.
hmm
If it does, then on the weekly, you can see it heading down, coming up to 477.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took gold earlier as well when it broke 53.2 up to 57. That was pretty cool. That was a nice little move.
No.
I nearly entered GJ again at, where was it, 550? Hang on. Yeah, about 550, but the previous 30-minute candles had 3 massive wicks down and they proper put me off.
Oh, yeah.
I was considering getting in again there, and I was like, I wasn't too keen. Because I was kind of testing the 4 hour level, and I wasn't sure whether that was... It's a good sign to continue up, I think, but I was just worried that because it was the new 4 hour open, and I wondered if it's going to create a wick down to that level and then push up. So I was kind of cautious, and I entered a bit after that. But yeah, man, it worked out well.
Oh, nah, that was overthinking.
Nah, man, it's safe. All worked out good.
Okay.
All good.
All Gucci.
Patience,
Life is
patience.
God is
Well,
good.
the thing is now, if you can hold this entry, if you look at the monthly is now starting to turn.
Yeah.
God,
I've had my eye
I
on
only
that,
have the
man.
monthly in my time.
Yeah,
I
for-
have the monthly.
You're talking for a wick fill on the monthly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least your target, at least on the monthly now, if you're swing trading, Raja's got it up, is going to be at least over here.
147.80, right? Oh,
No,
No.
okay. So here's the thing, when people call out these levels, you have to think logically. The reason why I call out this initial level is because of the fact that you have bodies of the candles. So price, in this instance, has hit here the majority of times in the bodies, right? You can't call up here because this is just an impulse move, right? So when you're looking at your initial levels, always look for where the bodies are finishing for the most part. Because up over here, this is like wicks, you got wicks. So when you start doing that, and you see that there's a majority of wicks instead of bodies, it's going to be harder to get to that point, right? And that's what a lot of people fail to realize is they'll call that level like 147, and you're sort of like, well, it can get there, but I mean, I would rather play it safe and look at the fact that, more than likely what will happen is this candle will finish here. There'll be a bit of a pullback, and then the next candle will probably then engulf. Because if you think about this, if you look at this structure here and you go to smaller time frames, you'll see that it's very rare that we fill it on the first shot. Right, it'll always be, there'll always be a couple of candles. Like if you look on a 15-minute time, like if Raja goes to a 15-minute time frame or a 30-minute time frame, we'll see the same example of this on a smaller time frame, and you'll see that it doesn't necessarily get filled like right away. Like, well, I mean, here's a bad example because it got filled right away, but
It's some to the left, actually.
something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then this one's probably the best example. So if we go over here, this is your best example. So you can see what's happened here. You get your initial push, you're trying to fill this one, and then it takes like 2 attempts to fill it. But the good thing is when you're filling it, the attempt here, it steps. It steps up, right? So even though it took several attempts to fill, the step ups allow it to continue to move.
Yep. And also on that monthly, like you were saying, we know why that spike is so high as well, because that was news related, wasn't it? So to keep going all the way to the top's a big, we'd need something else, I think, as well. We're going to get up there, but not straight away. Like you said, that level to the left makes a lot more sense.
That's right.
But still, awesome start to the day. Are you still holding, Ted, from 3?
No.
No.
I closed.
Yeah, good call. Where did you close? On the basis we're getting up to 44 again, or before?
Well, I had resistance at 600.
Yeah.
And I ended up having a trail, so I ended up closing at 143,757.
Yeah, because it got to 800 and kind of rejected, didn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that level this morning. That's where my entries kind of stopped out.
Yeah.
Because I put mine below the previous hour candle.
Mm-hmm.
At 600 actually. Yeah, and it stopped out there, and I was like, bugger. But then as soon as the next two started rejecting off the 4 hour level, I was kind of interested again.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's don't need to do any more. It's good.
Chris, I took EuroCAD exactly how we discussed today.
What did you? Let me see.
I'll send the chart. Well, I sent it up before, but I'll put it back.
Nice. I'll just look. Yeah, good man. Good effort. Yeah, that worked well. That was well planned out.
Yeah, I've just sent it.
Yeah, have a look.
Ooh.
Yeah, nice work, man. Yeah, played out exactly as you explained.
The one that I took in the during your session, well, before your session, played out good too. So,
Good.
Matt, did you close that?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Foolish boy. Nah, that's good.
I'm not allowed to speak 4 words for every 15 minutes, so I'm good.
Do you think GJ can pull back to 143,950 before pushing up? Yeah, sure. Like so far, it's just heading up. I have 0 entries on GJ, 0. Because it was like I was thinking about getting an entry right over here when this candle was still bullish, but then again, I was like, yeah, it could pull back, so I just didn't. I just like there was no entries.
And also this candle closed without top wick. So
Got in at 7:05. At like 5 minutes into the new hour, I'm like, I'm taking this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was the one.
This is gonna fly. Just about getting ready to close. Yeah, I just closed my position. Picked up 12 pips.
Easy work.
Well, I took a 40k loss yesterday, so I'm slowly just trying to scale it back.
Yeah, but you did good on the day before, dude. So
Yeah, but
you don't want to take a loss, I know. But
no, I took a stupid loss because I held my position like an idiot.
did you hold it longer than where we still at that 15?
Yeah,
I was on the hour. I was using the hour, and it caught me.
Yeah, because GJ is stupid. Because I mean, this move was supposed to happen yesterday, and it happens today. And it's like I know what's happening with the market. It's just I was a day early, and it's sort of stupid. But
We're a little bit ahead of time, man. But
yeah, because I mean, even yesterday afternoon when I started watching it hold support at around like 300, like 143, 300, I was just like, oh, man, this is gonna pull all the way back up now.
yeah, because I was kind of trying to analyze it again, why it was a loss as such, and looking at it on like the 30-minute how it formed. I was kind of thinking, am I just overconfident on the basis that it's pushed so hard, and we are actually at daily resistance? Was it sensible taking that option at that point? Which I still see why it should have pushed up, but it kind of, that's where it fell down. So I don't know whether that's just, for me, a little bit overconfidence, thinking we're just going to continue. But
yeah, stupid. It was
It
a
makes
stupid
sense,
trade on my end. Whatever.
yes, blame you, man. It's your fault.
Yeah, like, jeez, just you're sitting there. It's moving so nice.
It's because we
And then-
anticipated a day early. That's
And then it just destroys you there.
But then it gives you the options for another one anyway, so it's not the end of the world.
Because I knew this was going to happen. This move here, this is a really strong move. I think once the North American starts, I'll probably look for an entry
Mhm.
that we can get for
London close.
like a swing trade.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because
Ah, yeah.
remember what we were talking about yesterday? This is the move that you wanted because now this has created a new high.
Yep.
And you know you're not returning back to 143 anymore. You'll probably go back to 144, like 100 or
Mhm.
144 on the dot.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it should create that zone above there now, I would expect.
yeah.
So we said yesterday, it was about 200, 300, which would be kind of the level of potential rejection, wasn't it? I think,
Yeah.
if that's right.
Because this daily candle has hit like resistance on the daily. I mean,
Yeah.
and if it starts to fly, once we get past 144, 560, your
Yeah,
next target, like I said, is 145.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm expecting like a little retest.
That's the problem. This is you're playing with GJ. GJ might just run a train and just take off, and you don't get retests. This is the problem with gold and GJ. People wait for these retests and they never come.
I'm sorry, but remember last time how we didn't wait for the retest and we got wicked out for the 5 minutes, and yesterday actually did the same, but instead of 5 minutes, it was slow.
Yeah, but if you look at the way the candle's structured right now, the daily candle. The daily candle is very, very strong.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is look across the daily candles for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
The candle hasn't been like that strong over the last couple of days, right?
Yep.
So now you finally have the momentum that you were looking for, because this candle was relatively weak. This candle didn't really get anywhere. Finally, this candle is the one that's just moving. So that's where now I sort of watch. The good thing is though, tomorrow's daily candle will probably dip a bit, and then
It'd be nice if it uses the previous two, like the kind of resistance to the left as a. I don't know if that's too hot. Oh no, it's above 44, so it makes sense.
yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean the way that yesterday's candle finished, I kind of disregarded that in my overall view, if that makes sense.
sounds like Uncle Ted is gonna need a mentor soon. Yeah. Gonna need a mentor soon for sure. Good. That's. I just a couple of mistakes I made this week were just I consider rookie mistakes that fresh off the second week of trading.
Yep.
A little overzealous.
That's the thing. I said that. I think it was last week when I come back. My majority of my losses, or not so much consistency, starts at the first quarter, and then once I kind of get my eye in, I seem to be a lot better. But I tend to make stupid mistakes. I think a bit early entries and stuff like that. And I know it's only 2 or 3 weeks off, but
a little overzealous for me. So I paid for it.
So you
yeah.
see, Chris, you tend to overthink.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. From the way I look at stuff, I think I like to analyse it, but not too much. I think I could have had a better entry earlier because I was concerned about them 3 30-minute wicks down. That put me off a little bit because it was the new 4 hour that was opening. I thought we might pull down to do the same and then push up. Right. And that's why I didn't enter at that point. And I don't know whether that's over-analysing or just being sensible. But then I waited to enter. No, so then I waited to enter later. So I was still going on the same bias, but I was just cautious that I didn't want to take a stop that big. Because I was only aiming to the top of my zone at like 750, 800 at the time. So it wasn't really worth it.
Alright. So what I'm thinking is basically just a retest down here. Create some support. And continue up. But like Ted said, like this don't pick
I
up.
think that's a bit too far, I think.
No, if you look on the 30-minute, give me 1 second.
It hasn't got a lower wick yet, to be fair, so you never know.
My concern is the last few days, GJ during the North American session is just reversed the entire way.
Right.
So I'm going to be very cautious. I won't be taking any market orders. I'll be taking buy stops.
Yeah, that's all.
Mhm.
So like as an example with this area here, I'll be looking as it keeps pulling back. I'll probably have a buy stop up over here with anticipation that this does whatever it does over here, and then it spikes through and it goes here, and then that'll be a position I'll try and hold. The only problem is because it's later in terms of this move already has happened, I believe that this move is very stale because we've had this is basically the move.
Yeah.
And the beginning of London session, or sorry, the beginning of Asian session, we had this move here. So if you do a calculation and you measure out this move here, that's probably the average daily move for GJ. So because that's the move that's happened, it's about 90, yeah, Raj is mapping out about 100 pips. That's usually the average that GJ moves. So that's why I think that move is stale. The good thing is now, because today's daily went bullish, I can now look at the Asian session and hunt a buy that'll be fresh, that will push further.
Yeah.
So those are your options. So, you know, if that's the reason why yesterday I took a trade during the Asian session, because we still had bullish momentum, but it was going to be fresher than trying to come in today, this morning, trying to get this move. Because I knew if we're going to go bullish, we'll probably get to 144. It's just I got stopped out on the way up to 144. So these are your opportunities, and this is how you would map out your trade. Is you would understand that, okay, now that we're in this region here, the 144 region, I can try and take a trade right now, but it's probably highly likely that I might get stopped out because of the fact that we've gone through the Asian London session. New York session will give it a little bit of a boost, but then there'll be a pullback for the rest of it towards the afternoon, just as the daily candle finishes off. So what I may look to do is maybe map this out for the Asian session, knowing very well that we have to 145 on the weekly candles to get to 145. So there might be a good opportunity at 144, 400 to go all the way to 145, and that's still another 60 pips, and it's a fresher move based on that.
Yeah. A sensible approach, I think. With your buy stops, Ted, I know you just explained it as such then, but would you consider, if it wasn't coming up to this session now, for example, as in looking on a lower time frame to add buy stops and moving down with it, for example? As the move kind of came back on itself. So if you're looking at 15 now, for example, not probably at the top of where we are now, to be honest, at like 285 or something, would you consider putting one there if we weren't going into obviously New York right now?
It's tough to say because my mind wants to do that, but I just don't know how much more of a push we're gonna get.
Yeah,
and
based on that.
if this is gonna, so what? Like I agree, but the only thing is, what'll happen? I'm looking for a longer move, but what'll happen is this will fill. We could get up here and then we can reject all the way down. So your buy stop gets executed, say over here as an example. Your buy stop gets executed here, and you get like a little shitty move. It goes up here and then it stops.
Like I said,
that's my only concern, right? So if I had a buy stop, say over here, right now, your stop loss is placed over here, and you're good because this whole entire move went up. But you're not worried about the fact that it's pulling back over here. You're more concerned about where the whole pullback is going to happen. Because your buy stop down over at 143, 700, that's your long-term move now to go to 145 or 146. So that's what you're trying to do with your buy stop, is you're trying to get a position where you know in the higher time frames that it's going to make that move. And that's why I always look at the Asian session. It's going to be a little bit, you need that fresher.
Yeah, I see what you mean, because it's the end of this, well, like I said, it's the end of the move. It's a big move. It doesn't make sense now. But yeah, if you can catch the earlier part, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah, to me, good morning. everyone.
What's up, man?
To me, right now, GJ man is in a no land to trade. I was looking for buys earlier, but as is right now, the move already happened, so we may have just a little bit of consolidation and another push toward the high of the day, which was created a while ago. But like Ted says, it's a shitty move. I'm not risking anything, looking for 20 pips up there, because it may retrace all the way back.
Yeah, for sure. That's sensible.
Kind of the same move we have on gold. Yeah, kind of the same move we had on gold. I think was on Monday. That should happen with GJ, but I'm not looking for buys up there. It's too risky for it. The easiest way to trade this.
Yeah, the only way to trade GJ right now is, it's creating a high, wherever it's creating a high, wherever it's going to stop, come down. Like, all I'm looking for is for it to come down, create a support, and then continue up to retest the high. If that happens today, that's perfect. If it doesn't happen, then, maybe there's no trade for Raja Banks today. The bank is closed today. Raja Bank's bank is closed today. Mike.
On other news, mate, you got CAD news, haven't you, today? So
yeah, I might put pending orders there too, so let's see what happens. Pending orders for, I think it's going to be on USD CAD.
Yeah?
Yeah. EJ looks like it's going to come down over here. We were talking about this earlier. The 30-minute candle actually is closing bearish, broke the low of the previous one. This is the perfect example of a 30-minute candle breaking below support, right? So if you can expect the next 30-minute candle to continue down, then I think this is a good trade idea here for someone who trades EJ, like a 6-7 pip stop with a 10-11 pip gain. And there's Carlos there saying but in a perfectly good analysis.
No, sounds good, man. No but.
There's no but, man. Just
no but today, man.
No but. The moment you put but in your analysis, that's the moment where you're just throwing your analysis out the window.
That's self-doubt.
I agree, man.
That's self-doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No self-doubt.
Afraid to lose.
Yeah, it's like saying you take a trade and then you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this is gonna happen." If you're afraid, don't trade.
That's the same as when I closed a couple of my orders yesterday. I was worried that it's going to eject too much, so I just took it, and then I should have left it because then it carried on up double the move. But that's the way it goes, isn't it?
And when the 30-minute is gonna close, do you guys know?
I think this chart over here, if you're looking at the daily to continue moving up, then you're looking at the smaller time frames to create some sort of a support, right? Because if this was the break right over here, if this was the break, then you're looking for a support forming on a smaller time frame for a continuation. Roger, you posted this morning that these algos bots don't really work out after 3 months. If they were initially profitable, what would make things go wrong? Because these algos that are marketed to make you money, man, think about this, right? If there's an algo that makes people money, why would someone charge people a monthly fee so that they can benefit from the algo when the algo is making them money? All these algos, man, Ted, like you've been here, right? Like, no algo has performed more than 3 months.
Yep. The issue with algorithmic trading, and I'll tell people this again, is that anyone selling a monthly algo service obviously doesn't have confidence in their algorithm because they are taking fees. Any algo trading, the fees should be coming from the profits. So you should be splitting profits with the algorithmic trader, because essentially what they're doing is they're saying, hey, if we don't make money, we don't get paid. Not, well, we get paid anyways, no matter what the performance is. So you have to keep that in mind. The other reason why algos fail a lot of the times, and this is what I tell people, because people always ask me, there's people that do algorithmic trading, and there's people that I've sort of quote unquote promoted. The first thing I say is never put in money you can't afford to lose. That's the number one rule. If you have to question the money that you're putting in, don't put it in. The second thing is when the algo is performing, make regular withdrawals, because the algo is going to do, like, some of these algos have done like 10, 20, 30% in a month. Take that profit out, because you have to think about it this way. If that thing goes bust, at least if you've pulled out, your initial investment, it doesn't hurt as much. But when you start playing with an algorithm and you put in like $2,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, and then you want to run it up to $100,000 over the next year, you have to ask yourself, what's the probability of that happening, and how confident am I that's going to happen? I've watched every single algorithm ever sort of work in the last year or 2 years. It's always failed at one point. There's always been a failure where you could see the failure coming. It's been because algos run on technical analysis. They don't run on fundamentals. And some algorithms will take through a fundamental event, and it doesn't realize that, hey, this is not going to happen. We're not going to pull back, or we're not going to change trend. It's just going to continue for longer than expected. So that's always been my advice to everybody, is make regular withdrawals. Don't get caught up in the hype that, oh, this algo's been performing for the last 6 months for me, or 3 months, and I'm making like 5 or 10% a month, and the gravy train is just going to continue. Just be smart, make regular withdrawals, and don't risk money you can't afford to lose. And some of these algorithms have performed phenomenally. I've seen a couple of algorithms on the brokerage for the last year and a half that have done 130, 150%, but people have done regular withdrawals. So you haven't doubled your account, but you've just grinded out, like you've put 10,000 in, you've probably made about 10,000 out, and you've just withdrew it every so often. And you have a nice steady system. And if it breaks, you could be like, hey, I made my money, I don't really care too much. And if that person puts their algorithm back up, or they adjust it, maybe I'll give it a shot again. And I think that's what people have to do, is these algorithms do perform, but always be cautious, because at the end of the day, none of these guys have experience like being an actual trader in an institution and running institutional funds, right? I mean, these guys have built algorithms based on different metrics, based on sort of the market they've coded them. So you have to take that with a grain of salt, but it doesn't mean that you can't win with an algorithm. It just means you have to be smart. Don't be a dumbass and try and hold forever.
What's up, Ted? What's up, Rakeel?
Hey, Shama.
What's
How you
going
doing?
on?
Hey,
Chilling.
Shama.
Going on, peoples? Relaxing.
Did you get into code yesterday?
Pardon?
No, it's fine.
Are we waiting for a support to be formed with GJ and then a candle to flip bullish? That's what I am looking for. I'm looking for that exact same thing to happen on GJ. For price to come down, create some sort of support, and then hopefully continue going up by, you know, NYC open. So until that happens, I haven't taken a trade yet. And your JPY, it seems like it doesn't want to break down. It's still ranging here. Yep, seems like it doesn't want to break down. I just wanted to see if I was thinking the same. Yeah, like my thinking strategy is very simple. I don't know if you're thinking of a strategy, but my thought process is really simple. Price went up, traded a high, it's got to come down, create some sort of support to continue going up. And that continuation to go up would be called trading the trend. Practicing more analysis, not entering trade anymore. Oh, nice. That's good. I think it's better for people to do more analysis on one pair rather than looking for entries. See, this created a high. Gold overall uptrend based on a daily chart is bullish, so overall bias is bullish. Don't look for bias. Pull back to retest the high if support creates at this level, entering a buy. Stop loss below the previous candle. Yeah, that seems good. Like if you think gold created a high, it's coming down to do like kind of create some sort of a support to go up. Honestly, man, I think if this support is established at 1555.55, then there's an easier move to go up to 1558. If that support is established, but if this 30-minute low is broken, I think we were talking about this earlier too, then like you know gold's coming down to 1554. Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to 1554. The 15-minute broke the low of the previous 15 minutes. Ooh, someone sent a chart. Ooh, another one. USD CAD sells all the way down. Perfect. Perfect, makes perfect sense. Taking USD CAD trade just before CPI makes perfect sense. I mean, why, man? Look, the CPI, they're expecting good numbers, which means that USD CAD should be dropping. You know, but it's the news. Who knows? It might spike down and go right back up. You know, so you gotta wait for the news, man. Oh, someone's in gold. Let's take a look here. Ooh, gold sells. Very nice. For these gold sells, I would at least wait for the 15-minute candle to close. In 5 minutes. I took a sell at blah 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 on gold. Not sure if I should hold the trade right now. Well, then you should close the trade. If you're unsure about a position, the best thing to do is to close it. Works all the time. Oh, this is nice sell on gold someone took. Very nice. See, I look at all the charts. When people say I don't look at charts, man, I look at everyone's charts. The fuck is this? 61.58. So what does this mean? 61.50.38.
I think they are fib levels. He's looking for a retracement, and that sounds.
Yeah, maybe he's drawn these to show that, oh, look how price respected these levels somewhere.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm not a mind reader, so I don't know what it means. Looks like GG's gonna do a continuation here. All right. Oh, something the wrong chart. Yesterday, we were discussing about overtrading, and what we came down to was that the only way you will be more prone to overtrade would be chart time. You know, the more you look at the charts, the more prone you are to take another trade. So you really need to limit your chart time. Like yesterday, I took 2 trades. I took a GJ buy and I took a gold sell yesterday. And then I just stayed on the stream. I stayed on the stream. I looked at charts. I witnessed moves, and I didn't take another trade.
I think the other thing too is, Raja, people have to plan their trades, right? So yesterday, as an example, with the pound yen, you know, obviously my buy analysis failed in the morning, right? So you sit there and you laugh and you say, haha, he was wrong. You know, it dropped. But then what I did was I will go and look for that opportunity again. And it may not happen in the North American session. It may happen in the Asian session, maybe in the London session. So people also have to understand that just because you don't find something right now, there could be a move setting up for the Asian session that you grab. So don't look at sitting in front of the charts this morning as a missed opportunity, right? So like Raja said it on, he hit the nail on the head. He turned around and said, well, I'm not taking any trades with GJ. I don't like the setup. But you know what? He may come back in the Asian session and find it fresh and take a trade there. So don't waste the opportunity to watch the North American session and then plan out a trade for later on in the Asian session. The idea is you want to always try and catch the fresh portion of the move. So it might be an opportunity there in the next session that you grab it, and you don't turn around and you don't grab anything right now. It's not a waste, and don't get pulled into that. Just turn around and say, hey, the setup that I was looking for hasn't formed yet. I'll wait for it. Think about trading like being in a hurricane. You know, the hurricane starts as a tropical storm, and they give that projection and they say, hey, this is the path it's going to take. That's what you should be doing with your trading. If the path doesn't happen in front of you during the session that you normally trade, maybe it's going to happen in another session, and you just have to plan for that a little bit more. So, you know, where you don't normally trade Asian, which I don't, if I miss something and I know it's coming back, like we saw with the GJ buys, I'll jump into the Asian session just to see if I can see if it is forming, and then try and grab that. Where normally I'm not looking at Asian session at all, but because of the circumstances yesterday, I shift my focus a bit so that I can catch the opportunity. Whereas if I hadn't, I would have missed that opportunity all like through the evening or overnight. So you try and make sure that you map out your trades and visualize, and you might find that it doesn't happen until the next session. And that's fine, you know, but plan accordingly. Don't overtrade now and be like, oh, I need to catch a buy here. Just say, hey, I'm going to come back at the Asian session when it's fresh, and I'm going to look for buys above 144 500 or whatever the number is going to be at that point. Don't try and squeeze it out now if you're not comfortable taking that opportunity.
Yeah, that's very true. I adjusted what I was doing yesterday, and I stayed up to look at the Asian start and see what happened. And that was about 1:30 my time, 2 o'clock-ish. And that's kind of when I took a similar entry to you, just on the basis I was anticipating that to happen at some point. So I went to the next session just to see if I can grab it, and it made sense. Then I can go to sleep.
Yes, GJ momentum is very strong to go bullish. It's very strong to go bullish. I mean, like sometimes when I'm 100% sure about the trade, I put it here on the screen for everybody so that, guys can benefit from it. But sometimes when I'm not too sure enough to tell it to everybody, it's because, like there are chances of losing, and then I don't want people to lose. What are you waiting for? Well, realistically, I was waiting for price to come down over here and kind of like do this scenario on the 30-minute chart, but it's doing it on the 15-minute chart. And 15-minute is a weaker confirmation than a 30-minute. So realistically, I would want to see a retracement down to create some sort of support and then continuation up.
Yeah, this is similar to what it did yesterday, but not at that level. But then this is where it started forming support on 15-minute, which made sense. But then the entry made sense, and then it kind of broke down.
Yeah.
Because it's not strong enough, and then caught us out. So.
Yeah, like someone sent me a chart here, and their entry is right over here around like 144, 260, and the stop is below these two 15-minute candles. So that's a little bit aggressive because that's on the 15-minute time frame, which is a little bit of a lower confirmation time frame. Man, if this was on the 30-minute, this setup, oh man, this would be amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
The thing is that yesterday it did something similar, and then it started to drop.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you didn't feel the wick like it's doing right now.
Yeah, so if you grab that, well, very well done. Five trades all on GG today, got stopped out and back in because I had a feeling there was more. Oh, nice. Okay. See when you guys send charts, write something on it. Use the keyboard and write something on the chart, because it's just a waste of my time to open a chart like this when it's already in profits. I mean, instead of sending a profitable chart here, post it on Instagram, like where people can give you likes and say good job, because like here it doesn't make any sense. You should be posting a chart about the trade you're about to take, about the trade you're mapping out, which is beneficial to people. Like what we're doing right over here. How would you feel if on the stream I started posting the trades I've already taken in the past?
It get a bit boring real quick.
Yeah, it'll get boring real fast. Yo, good morning. Didn't think this was free. Oh, yeah, well. It doesn't cost me anything to do it. Oh, can't open it. What does hard stop mean? Hard stop means a stop loss. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what I was talking about with algos before is most algos run on a grid style. And what happens is they keep losing positions as the trade goes against them. And if you're in a fundamental problem, it'll keep adding positions, and that trade will keep going against them, and it eventually margin you out. That's what a lot of these algorithms do. They run on what they call a grid style, which is almost like a martingale. And they say, well, with low enough risk, it'll always return, like the market will always return. But sometimes the market doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like gold will continue dropping here. Might get a push for NY Open too if it stays bearish. Wicks don't lie. Have a look at my chart. Here's my code. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for blessing us with your magic chart, which is the wrong chart. When I started trading, I made a lot of money martingale away. Yeah.
And one day you lose it all.
Yeah. Like, it's pretty cool, you know, when price goes against you, start, like, let's say price is going up and you're in sells and you keep taking sells, and then one day it all comes down and you're floating in massive profits.
I'm keen on that.
But then sometimes when you're doing that and the market just keeps pushing up and your sells keep getting margined out, and then you're like, oh wow. And then a point comes where you don't have any margin left, and slowly the broker starts to close their positions. That's the lowest point. That's like, man, what should I do now?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do much there. That's kind of too late.
Yeah.
No, just put more money in.
Yeah, let's just open my bank. Hang on.
Yeah.
Send some more.
I've done that before.
No, for real? What?
Yeah, you told us.
Redeposited to...
Yeah,
Oh,
like
man.
my margin was low. I was like, holy fuck. So I opened my IC Markets account and I put more money in. And
Did
then
it work out?
No, yeah, it got blown.
Never do that again, man.
Yeah, it was blown. I think I was trying to buy GBP USD. It was 2 months after Brexit when it just started, it kept falling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Catching them bottoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
So I learned my lesson there.
Yeah, that's not a fun game.
Analysis on gold is that this 15-minute candle, it has to close here. If it closes bearish, I'll be looking to take sells. But if the 30-minute is, yeah, see now the 30-minute has broken the low of the previous one, and just gotta wait how this is gonna close. Because if it closes bullish, then NY Open can push it up. But if it closes bearish down here, then NY Open can push it down. That's like something that's just going through my mind right now. So you're getting a sneak peek of my thought process. Doesn't NY Open reverse the price most of the times though? I don't know, you need to see some sort of a technical confirmation for a price to reverse.
I think that's more of gold than anything.
Yeah.
Especially New York Open.
We got CAD CPI here too. I'm gonna bring up CAD over here, USD CAD, and I'm gonna see. Oh wow, it's been falling hard. I remember someone took sells on USD CAD here earlier. Sent a chart. See if the news is gonna be good, and CAD is rising in strength over here and it's falling. The pair here is falling. Maybe it's just pricing in that news. Maybe it's just going to spike down to 1.3046 and then just continue going up. Because this big move, this has to be priced in. CPI. The CPI is priced in. You know, and priced in means that if CPI is going to be good, price should fall, but it's already falling. If you look on the daily here, wow, daily is in a deep range.
I was going to ask you actually, because you guys might know. Do you think you're due a rate cut now? It's got to be about time, no?
Oh, fuck.
No?
Canadian
Man,
economy is a piece of shit right now.
Well, that's what I mean. I wasn't too sure how you saw it now, because obviously we're following on from US and stuff. It's got to be a good.
No, they got to hold the rates right now. They can't do anything to the economy. There's too much instability.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I say because they've not changed for. I was looking a long time.
someone
Go ahead, sorry, Roger.
someone told me yesterday that they will be cutting rates for the new year. Because like the US has cut rates twice.
Yeah. See, that's what that was my impression.
Okay.
If you know what I'm saying, because like we said before, it's usually delayed as such for 3-6.
Yeah, it's always 6 months. Yeah. So I mean, it would make sense if they're going to do a cut. I mean, it would happen today.
Yeah, I was looking from your economy point of view. I didn't think that would be.
There's no. Let's put it this way. There's no way they're increasing rates.
Mm-hmm.
So if the rates stay the same or the rates get cut, I think it ends up being the same result somewhat.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So people were talking about it this morning as well, and I wasn't really sure. And that's the kind of outlook I had, because I didn't think the economy was that great. So lowering it would not be, it would not be helpful, really.
See a 30-minute candle, it didn't close a strong bullish candle. Looking at the 1 hour, 1 hour is, it's there. So there's no buys. Oh, there it goes. Oh, self-stop.
Uh-oh.
That's they're calling on the phone again. Quick, get the bank account.
So if they keep cutting rates, what are they going to do with the recession finally? Oh yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
They'll do negative interest rates, just like Japan did for 20 years. If you read about Japan's negative interest rates in the 80s, that's exactly what every country is basing their model off of right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's it's funny because when you hear economists talk and you hear people talk about, recession and rate cuts, and people always say, well, what happens when we get to zero or whatever it is, right? They always use Japan as an example that, hey, they did negative interest rates and they were fine. It's just such a stupid analogy. It's because they did it, everybody else can do it. It's like I don't understand.
Yeah,
this.
they survived.
They survived. So that means there's hope for everybody now. It's just rather interesting the way that economists position those things. It's like, oh, what happens if we need negative interest rate? Oh, don't worry, Japan did it for 15 years. They were good. So we have a long way to go. We're still in the positives. It's like. Well, you're not trying to get to the negative.
No.
We're not trying to do this on purpose here. We're trying to avoid that. So can we fix the economy before it gets to that point?
Let's see who can go the deepest first.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. I always laugh about that. It's like that's the best you got.
Yeah.
And also, I think ECB's got negative interest rates, right?
I was just reading exactly that, actually.
And they're not really doing much better.
Yeah, I was just reading exactly about that then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always hesitant when I read historical ideas because everything changes in the world economy, and what was good back at one time may not be good in the future.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always very cautious when people say, "Oh, it'll be fine." I think at this point, and this is what I don't understand is. We have globalization and we have access to information. I still don't get why countries can't get their economies correct, and especially with trade and all that others and balancing. I don't understand why they're not doing a better job. There's so much more information out there to gain, and it seems like the economies are doing worse.
Yeah, we should have evolved a bit from the 80s.
That's exactly it. And I always wonder about that. I mean, because people have always talked about. I was on Saturday night. I was playing poker at a game, and we were talking about this. And there was a few people at the table, and they were talking about, do we think the market's going to crash? And my thing has always been, I've read this before, is when people are talking about market crashes, the market doesn't crash. Because people are aware. There's a heightened awareness around the sensitivity of the market. It's when people become comfortable, that's when the market crashes. So as long as mainstream media and the average Joe, like, I look at it this way: if the guy that you speak to knows nothing about economics or business, he starts talking about a recession, you know that there's not going to be a recession.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just what you have to think about is when they stop talking about a recession, that's when it'll creep up on us, and that's when it'll happen.
Yeah,
so that's the biggest takeaway.
So
yeah.
I was just going to say, if Everyday Joe's talking about it, the big boys know what they're talking about, so they're aware.
Yeah, looks like GJ sort of held out for a bit. I think with GJ, I mean, if you're looking at GJ, I think buys above 330 will probably be decent, but even still, I'd wait for a breakout.
I like your thinking with the whole, kind of exhaustion as such with that move, because that is big. When you're looking on daily now, like you said, that is a big move. We have seen bigger though, but it's kind of slowed down now, hasn't it? Same as yesterday. If you're looking at a 30-minute chart, you've got no kind of consolidation at all. So this could be the area, I think. It seems to be looking that way, especially if you're looking at like 15-minute and stuff. It's kind of, unless it pushes right out. But can't.
Tiny grabs on GJ. Tiny movements. Oh, there we go.
I was anticipating maybe, but
yeah, I had a small entry at 144.260.
that makes sense.
Oh boy.
Yeah, when it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're 15. Very good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, sensible. But do you just use the previous 15 as stop loss? Is
Yeah.
that kind of where
Yeah, when I was mapping it out.
Yeah, makes sense. Just very little risk.
Usually I'd open 12 lots. I opened like 6.
I thought you were going to say like 40.
So I have to. No.
It's such a small move. Yeah, such a small move. I'm going to open 40 lots instead.
Wow.
I'm going to go heavy.
Well, at least we called it 144 400.
Nice call, Mac.
Thank you.
As much as I want you to win, I don't want you to go too far.
I think you're safe until 144 500.
Are you looking at that top wick, Ted? That rejection? Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's the other key that I look at is once we're more than halfway through like a rejection wick from a previous level, chances are we go to fill it.
Yeah, I see.
That's what I've noticed. That's why I'm very cautious when we first start to enter in the zone. That's why, like, as an example, if I was in a trade with GJ from earlier, I'd be looking to exit at like 144, 185.
Yes.
And then, you know what, we had that huge push that just basically barreled through the hour. So then I'm okay. Those are the instances where, you know, when you're saying, hey, maybe I should take profit at 144, like at that 185 level, I would, when it pushes all the way to 300, you know that now we're going to be cozy in that spot. So that's the difference. That's why I always tell people is, you know, when you aim to have take profit, you that's your initial take profit point. But if it just blows by it, then you know to let it continue to run.
Yeah, I always tend to have like a secondary level, if that makes sense, or an option.
Yes.
If it does, if that makes sense. So you've pre-planned and then you know what to do when you get there instead of like, oh, damn it. Well, I'm going to make coffee so you can make that 500 level.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there was this long pause. I'm like, what the hell? Did my sound cut out or something?
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, so basically, someone asked that if that wick is filled, then we should start looking for sells. But if you start to look on the weekly here, the weekly is about to fill the wick at 144.500. You got the daily bullish, 4 hour is bullish. We're approaching those areas there. So I mean, selling up over here would be risky because you never know how much further this can spike up. So you would need some sort of confirmation. So those confirmations are going to come from some sort of bearish candles. Because when you have bearish candles, then you can put stops above it. Okay, so someone is sending analysis on AUD JPY, fully knowing that AUD is closed at this time and JPY is closed.
What if they get roasted?
I can't even roast something like this. It's just such simple things people don't know, you know.
Yeah, that's sad.
So sad. Why would you trade a pair which is closed, you know? Like why would you go to a supermarket on Independence Day when you know it's closed? You know, when there's a national holiday, just drive to some, you know, malls or supermarkets. You'll see people, they'll drive up to the front door just to check if they're open or not. Like it's a national holiday, they're closed. You know, but still people, they drive to the main gate or door, they see the time, then they're like, oh man, it's closed today. And then they drive away. So this is what happens when you try to trade AUD JPY in New York session knowing that both are closed. All right, we got 15 minutes left for CPI here. See what happens. Wow, USD CAD is still dropping. Damn. This is dangerous now. See, the news is supposed to be good, but it's already dropping. This has to be priced in. This has to be priced in 100%. Can you check the chart for me real quick? I have a question. Okay. Let's check the chart real quick. USDJPY. Quick question, bro. Should I update my resistance, bring it down to here, 1 hour chart? Yeah, I think a small zone here would be good because then now you can say, okay, we're ranging. What does CAD CPI do for gold? Well, now you used to have some cognitive thinking and you need to see that it's CAD CPI. And then you need to look at gold and then you need to ask yourself, okay, does XAU USD have CAD in it? And the answer is going to be no. So you're going to say, oh, okay, then CAD CPI has nothing to do with gold. Super simple analysis, you know. When someone says that news is priced in, oh wow, we got a cowboy over here looking for buys. Hope this isn't market order. But when someone says news is priced in, they basically mean that it's already expected. You know, so if price is going to come down, then it's already going to come down beforehand like it is right now. And I don't honestly know what like news outcome is going to be. We can just sit and wait.
Basically, it's like catching a falling knife.
Yes.
And at the same time too, I think a lot of people get confused here. Not that it's the first time people get confused, but the information that Raja or anybody else sort of provides as guidance, you know, if you want to call it that, it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the information we provide is to make your life easier. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow those rules, but it just makes sense through the historical data that we have based on our trading that, you know, if you're trading a pair that's off market, there was a couple of comments that, you know, the market doesn't close for certain pairs. You're 100% correct, but why would you want to be stuck in positions that have no volume or that aren't moving? Maybe if you're swing trading, yes, that makes sense. You can take those positions. But what we try and present here is, you know, 80% of the information, you know, so that the majority of times it's going to work out to your benefit rather than, you know, just trying to fight against things that we've already seen many times. Like, you know, trying to trade gold and asking if it's going to be affected by CPI. There's a slight chance that it's going to move a bit with CPI, but it's not going to move enough that you would say, hey, I need to be able to trade gold at this time. And that's what we try and say is when you look at the information that's provided, it's based on the majority of the time. You know, there's always going to be those instances where the 20% comes in and then people are like, ah, see, I told you it was going to happen. But it's just more the fact that 80% of the time, this is what we've noticed. So you are welcome to take the information with a grain of salt, but just be aware that 80% of the time, this is what we've noticed. And that's what we're trying to give you. And that's how I present my information. You can trade the 1 minute chart, you can trade the 1 month chart, you can trade any chart you want, but 80% of the time it's good to do this idea or a modification of that idea. That's how I approach trading, is what is happening the majority of the time and what is the majority I've had success with, not the instances where, yeah, I've caught a trade where, you know, it just moved really hard unexpectedly. I don't preach that. I don't turn around and say, hey, get your finger on the trigger, get ready, because we're going to just take random buys, right? It does happen. And as you get more comfortable with the charts, you'll be able to do that. But I would never teach that opportunity because that's silly to say, hey, be ready. And then people just start looking for those impulse moves. And it's like, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to map out and plan trades. So always remember the 80% rule.
Oh, wow. Someone held GJ buys yesterday from 143.873.
Don't start me on that. I was at 143.06.
Oh.
What closed?
Yeah. Still profits, all good.
40 pip drawdown.
So, yeah.
It's like we said the other day with GJ, if you can hold the drawdowns of like 40 or 50 pips, like 50, 60 pips, you'll get these moves. It's just so hard to hold because when it starts going the opposite way, you're just sitting there watching it move like 5, 10, 15 pips in like a 5-minute candle. You're just, it's so painful to watch and you're like, Jesus.
Especially if you're in a good spot. That's the annoying part. That's so annoying because you know you're already in a decent spot, like them Asian ones from yesterday and today. Which that's what I was saying about trying to get Asian lows into London Open and pre-New York tends to, well, for me, it seems to work anyway. But yeah, it's just so annoying because you see it coming and you're just like, GJ, is it gonna stop soon or not? It's like, is it gonna? No.
All right. Wow, cat is flying.
Yeah.
Rakeel, do you have a sell stop gold?
Sell stop on gold?
Yeah.
No. No, someone sent me a chart with sell stop on it, so that's why I said, oh, sell stop.
My bad. I just don't want to talk.
I think, you know what's happening, Raja?
What?
The CPI is going to be a dud for
Yeah.
CAD. They're setting up for the rate statement at 10.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what's happening. Now I understand. Okay, so yeah, CPI is going to be a dud. It'll move a bit, but it's all getting priced in for the rate.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Leverage does not matter in trading. Your risk matters. You should be able to trade on a lower leveraged account because your risk is not, you're not over risking your account. There's a difference because leverage just allows you to borrow more money. When you think about what leverage does, leverage allows you to borrow more money from the broker, so your position gets exposed more. So technically speaking, you should never be at a point where you're at a margin call with your account. So if you're at a leverage of a 100 to 1 or 500 to 1, your risk is what matters more. You should only be risking maybe 1 to 3% of your account, maybe 5%. It should be a range that you're comfortable with. And the leverage doesn't impact that if your risk management is there. Leverage gets impacted when you have poor risk management, because what you're doing is you're over leveraging your account and you're adding positions. So that's why you want a higher leverage, because a lower equity with a higher leverage allows you to add positions compared to when you have a lower leverage with your equity, because essentially what you're able to do is you're able to borrow more money from the brokerage, so more of your positions are exposed. So if the market goes against you, your positions are going to get closed out faster than if the market goes then the market didn't go against you. So always keep that in mind. GBP, JPY rallies so much. Any news behind it? Nope. Just normal pound movement. As Montel Jordan says, this is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do.
Does he go in the influential bracket?
Oh, who did that? Please stop.
Yes, that's what he does. But that's like it's from Step Brothers. You know, when they're building the bunk
The
beds.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the bunk bed. This is how we do it.
It's pumping night.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, I love it.
Good movie.
That era, man. They're the songs. All good.
Oh, someone tried selling GJ today.
Oh,
Rest in
we're
peace.
getting killed.
All right, so USD CAD is now coming down to this bottom zone over here. Yeah, Ted, you might be right. It might be a dud. Cause fuck, man, look at all this.
Yeah, I know. It just flew down in the last half hour. It's ridiculous.
That's a big move as well for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where else is it gonna go?
Wow, like look at that fall.
If it goes past that zone, what's next zone?
You know what? If they cut the rates and this is just the liquidity for, I don't know. We'll see what happens at 10 a.m. I'll be here watching.
Well, I mean, all that effectively happen is if they cut the rates, we're going down to 129, right? So it'll just bop into that next zone, because if you look at the daily's created like this consolidation range.
Yeah.
So all that'll happen is we'll break out of this, and then we'll end up coming down over here. That'll be the easiest trade. Basically, put your sell stop here, close right over here. That's I don't know how much more textbook you can get.
No, that was my question. Thank you.
That's the easiest trade in the world. It's set up like, if you look at the way the market's set up, it's such an easy trade on the daily, because there's a zone right at the bottom of that, like right at the the January 8th. So it's just, you just basically map this out, break through that consolidation box on the daily, and then you fly down into 129, like 800, 129, 875.
All right, so what am I going to try to do here?
It looks like GJ almost topped out at 500, which was what we were looking for. So that's good too.
Yeah, I made my coffee. Hopefully that helped. That's good. Have you still got buy stops on gold, Ted?
On gold, no, I
No.
killed
Okay.
those. I'd like to take buy stops because I really think that we could probably get up. Like once we like right now, there's clean traffic on the 4 hour. We should be able to, but I'd really want to break up above 1559 first before I look at buys.
Yeah, I've left one at 62 again, same as before, just in case we get like a heavy.
I thought we were going to get some more moves with the impeachment
That thing took like
trial. Yeah.
12 hours, right?
But we'll wait for CPO. There we
Oh,
go.
look.
Sorry, my bad.
What's
Dud.
News is worse than expected.
Dud. And we said the news would be a dud, and it's a dud. Raja was right.
Yeah, that's kind of a good one to work out.
This means a 30-minute of a 4-hour close can be pretty unpredictable. Do you have any opinion on this? Nope, I have no opinion on what someone else says.
It's hard to have an opinion on something of that nature because different brokers have different 4-hour closes. So what do you take as gospel? That's my only question.
Yeah, that's always been something I've thought about.
That was CPI News doing CPI nothing. Daily close on different brokers? Yeah, it's daily close on a different broker. At the end of the day, it shouldn't really matter too much about the daily closes and things of that nature because of the fact that when you're setting your trades up, you should already have a plan. Like, you should not be chasing to execute a trade. And that's what you want to work through. Interest rate decisions for CAD at 10 a.m. is what will move the market. That is correct. Raja might be here till 10 a.m. to watch that massacre. Yes. So we might sit for the next hour with our hands underneath our butts.
Oh wow, look at gold. Damn.
Yeah, I was just watching
Oh.
that. I was just teaching some lessons, that was. It don't play.
Wow, that's crazy. Gold just... Man, if people were in buys, they didn't secure, man, gold came after you.
So it says, the news says that we widely expect the central bank to leave its key interest rates at 1.75. But there's a difference in opinion on what they expect the Bank of Canada will do later this year. So that's what's going to move the market.
Yeah, like the press conference part then.
Yeah.
I think, well, just from this side of the pond, it makes sense for them to lower it. But like you said, economy-wise, probably not so much. But just on the basis they're like kind of 2 behind the US now, and then it's been at least 6 months, I think. Well, at least 5 months, I think, since their first one. It looks like Donald Trump's woke up because my Twitter's going nuts.
You're just retweeting a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's nothing important.
Taking anything, Chris?
No, nothing, mate. No, nothing. I finished with GJ trades. My last trade I closed out at 44,276.
Nice.
I'm not doing any more. That's enough for today.
How do y'all control emotions associated with FOMO? Well, just don't take a trade.
If you didn't plan it, it weren't meant to happen.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I do. Like I was about to put a buy stop on USD CAD. I saw it just go up. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then gold, I saw it go up and then come down. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. The only trade I had was GJ buys, and that's about it. And like it's really important to really know when you will be executing a trade. It's really important, man. And yeah, there's no FOMO.
Yeah, just get used to it. I mean, a lot of times too, and I've said this in the past, there's moves that you watch that there would be no way for you to get an entry, and there would be no way for you to have a stop loss. So you just let them go. It's okay.
I mean, all you could do at that time is kind of maybe like analyze it a bit, see if you could, but that's about it.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, if you have FOMO, that's the exact point, Chris. If you have FOMO, then you know what? Go back and see how you'd have caught that move.
Yeah.
That's where you should be able to release your FOMO, because every time that you miss a move, it shouldn't be out of frustration. You shouldn't turn around and say, "Oh man, I missed a move. I can't believe I missed it." Go back into the charts and say, "How could I have caught that move?" And if you do that enough times, you won't have FOMO because you're going to actually start spotting those moves before they happen. Lack of preparation creates FOMO, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Because what people do is they bounce around charts and then they'll be like, "Oh, I missed the gold move. Oh, I missed this move." It's like, well, if you wanted that move, you would have been on the charts. Like there's always going to be a specific idea that you want, and you'll focus on that specific chart. That's going to be your idea for the day or whatever it's going to be. You can't turn around and be like, "Oh man, I missed AUD NZD today." It's like, well, if you wanted that pair, you would have been focused on that pair and you would have anticipated that move coming. The fact that you just jumped onto the chart now and you saw it drop like 100 pips, like that's irrelevant. Like the market's moving in all directions with all different pairs. Like we don't have 30 screens up with 30 different pairs. You don't do that. You focus on 1 or 2 pairs, and if your 1 or 2 pairs don't have the move for the day, that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll happen tomorrow.
Not today. Damn thing.
Has anybody checked the torch account?
Yeah, he made it.
He made it.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
He did it.
I'm actually impressed by that because he didn't take a single loss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not.
That's impressive. I mean, I don't really get impressed either by that, but still, that's
All his trades were buys on pound.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an easy week to do it, to be fair.
Exactly. That's why you got to focus on 1 or 2 pairs.
The interesting part about the torch account is when you figure out how many people failed and then how many people, like the first person that did it. So there was 4 people, and this is the 5th.
Yeah.
So when you look at the percentage of people that fail in trading, and you say it's a 90-10 rule, we had like an 80-20 rule. So it actually does match up with the fact that that the majority of traders would lose, and then now this person's actually won. So
I was thinking that at the start when it started off. I was going to wonder if it got to like 10, 20 people or so. I was going to try and calculate and see if it actually made sense. But yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting if actually that did play out though, for like 10 or 20 people.
Well,
But
I figured that much. When it started happening, eventually one person will clear the torch account.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't know how many people would burn it before we got to that point. But we got one person that did it, so hats off to that person. I mean, it was quite enjoyable watching people burn through the account. But when you think about it, and we said this earlier, like a couple weeks back, the torch account and all these burned accounts are very coachable and teachable moments. And if you look and reflect, like what Q should have done is Q should have left all those other accounts online, and you should as a person look at the different investor accounts or the ones that were burned, because there's valuable lessons in all those accounts.
Yeah.
Not using stop losses, over leveraging, counter trend trading, not holding positions correctly, trading the wrong times during the day. Like there were so many things that you could learn from those accounts. And it did make sense. Like this one that passed it, you could sort of see at the end of the day what Raja teaches here every morning is focus on one or two pairs.
Yeah.
So when you look at it and you look at what he did, he focused on one or two pairs and he held his bias. He did his trades and then he was done. And to me, it's a perfect example of why you trade certain pairs at certain times and you just focus.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
They're very impulsive when it comes to those type of things. Especially when it comes. Go ahead.
If you look at GJ right now, GJ's doing the exact thing it did yesterday.
Yes.
You remember yesterday?
Yesterday, right?
Right over here.
Yeah,
it was coming down
very well.
And started coming down and coming down.
Do you
and
think it's
coming
gonna
down.
do the same thing?
Same thing like yesterday.
Imagine he does the same exact thing.
And that's why I'm not touching it today.
Yeah, that's why I'll wait till Asian and have a look then.
Exactly. Because that'll be perfect. If it pulls back into like 144, 100 for today, then you know tomorrow will pop and then we'll get the fill to 145.
Yeah, for real.
So that's like a perfect scenario for us that we can sit back and now plan for tonight. So like this is something else where you adapt to the market and you start to realize that, hey, we're going to have pullbacks in the North American session, and in the Asian session we're going to have the pushes. So you just adjust your trading accordingly.
Yep.
Or it could be vice versa. Never know.
Either way, I'm not touching GJ till tonight anyways.
Yeah.
Echo. Yeah, I also think that Took has like a full retracement back in GJ would be really good. Hello? Hello? Somebody here?
I was gonna let you talk to yourself, man.
No, but
Yeah,
I
so was I.
I couldn't hold out.
I can see you.
Everybody's here.
Yeah, we're here. It's just,
Everybody's here.
should we talk about the weather or what? I don't know what we should do now.
About some of the awesome calls you've had, Chris.
Nah, man, I don't big myself up like that. Everyone else can talk about them, that's fine. They were there. If they were there, they could talk about them. I'm not about that, man. I know I called some awesome stuff, but everyone's there to see it.
Okay. What are we seeing?
Not a lot.
The weather. Going to
Oh,
Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, if you look on gold daily, look at this gold daily structure.
Mm-hmm.
So garbage. 4 hour as well. I mean, there's ranging between 4 hours ranging. 4 hours in a $7 range here, between 50.57 and 15.50. If you want to make things less complicated on gold, just do this. Hold on. Just do this, and that's it. It's ranging. If you break above 15.57, there's a high chance to come to 15.66. If you break below 15.50, then there's a chances to come down to either fill this wick over here first, 46, and then, 42. Can you go over how you would set up a buy stop and a sell stop on a trade? Yes, so I think Ted already talked about this, so we're going to talk about this again. On USD CAD daily, you can have a sell stop below support. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Can't have a buy stop though. See what happens. I think if USD CAD price remains around this area over here. Let's see on the 1 hour here. Yeah. What I'm going to do is for interest rates. So we back tested US dollar interest rates on Saturday or Sunday, was it? I don't remember. And the only backtesting that worked was that the buy stop and sell stops above and below the 1 hour candles, they worked.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was.
Yeah.
Mm.
So far, there are no trades. Nothing. If someone thinks they have a problem with overtrading, I can challenge you this, okay? For 1 week, just try to take one trade a day for 1 week. If you cannot do that, you need to really tell yourself that maybe trading is not for you. That's it. Because, the more you overtrade, the more prone you are to lose money. Overtrading does not mean you're going to win money. It means you're going to lose money. One trade a day for 1 week straight. That's the easiest, man. Trust me. Forex is the easiest way. No, it's the hardest way to make easy money. There's a lot of potential only if you're willing to be disciplined.
Yeah, I think if you like doing multiple things, like if you're a guy that wants to take multiple trades every day, maybe you should go work like in a factory where you're just putting widgets and there's a competition to see how many widgets or how many screws you can screw into something. I think your competitive nature of trying to do the maximum amount per day is being wasted with trading, because trading is about being patient. So if you are naturally an impatient person, maybe you have to go do a job that is a competition job, where it's like, hey, if you are able to put the highest number of bolts into the bag at the factory, you get a bonus for the day. Because I think you'd be better suited off for those kind of jobs that are like even a sales job, like, make 100 calls in a day and you get a bonus. Like those are the kind of jobs. Like if you're an impatient person, you should be looking at jobs that require repetitive tasks that you get a bonus for completing those repetitive tasks. This is more of a golf style approach job where you hit the ball once and make sure you hit it good. So, sort of think about who you are as a person. If you're highly competitive and you feel that you need to be working 8 hours straight, very hard, take a sales job where you go door to door, because it's a numbers game. If you ring 100 doors, chances are you're going to probably get like 20 sales. I think that's the other thing too, is people don't understand themselves, and then they come into trading and then they say, well, why am I over trading? Why am I over leveraging? Why am I doing all this? It's like, you need to learn about yourself first and then come to trading.
Yeah, that whole golf thing, Ted, that's exactly how I view it. It's like try and finish the hole in as least amount of shots possible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, this looks good over here. This looks good.
Yeah. Impatience comes from a internal urge of some kind, right? So look at it this way. Here's a perfect analogy. As a guy, right? So if you're a guy that gets laid every day, so you find women every day and you get laid, you're not in a hurry to chase the next woman that comes up to you, right? Like I was watching last night at like 1:30 a video on Leonardo DiCaprio. There was a YouTube video and it talked about all the women that love Leonardo DiCaprio. He just doesn't care because he has all that. But what if you're someone who's not famous and you're constantly chasing? There's an urgency there to find a woman, right? So it's the same thing with trading. When you have money, you're not looking to throw more money into the market because you're not trying to lose that money. But when you have no money, you're constantly trying to chase the money to get more. So what you have to look at is you have to look at the probability of you being successful chasing money in the market or being successful sitting with your hands under your ass and waiting for good opportunities. If you don't have the patience for that, that means that you're chasing money. That means you have to find an alternate source of income to supplement your trading so that you're not taking the poor opportunities or you're not chasing an opportunity because you're not worried about your dollar value, the dollars at the end of the day. Because when you're worried about the dollars, you're going to chase more. A perfect example, when you play poker, guys that are losing in the game will start taking bigger risks to catch back their money compared to the people that are winning in the game. They'll start to sort of lock up their money and not take as many opportunities. So if you're impatient, chances are it comes from the fact that you need money. And if you need money, you need to get a better paying job, or you need to get a job, so that trading becomes a supplemental source of your income, and trading is a hobby at first where you're not relying on it to make a dollar. So if today there's no dollar, it's okay, you survive. Or today you lost $1, it's okay, you'll survive. And when you get used to that, then you don't become impatient. You sit back and you sit and wait. Or if you take a loss, you don't chase it, because you're like, hey, I'll get it back the next day. I'll sit and plan for the next trade so that I know that trade will have a higher probability of success.
I started after listening to you from 10 trades to 5 trades a day. From next week, I'm going to do 3 trades a day. Now I'm feeling better. It's good. That is awesome. Someone sent a chart. What's this? AUD USD 4 hour. After following bullish market structure, price has failed to continue the uptrend and looked for a sell-off. Okay. Price showed some signs of potential bullish push. Took trade at 0.68470. 0.68. $490. Okay. Trade retesting resistance level, waiting for 4 hours to close. Do you think my trade was valid? I don't know. I don't know what trade you took, man. I don't know if you took buys or sells. And now I gotta investigate that. So that's too much work. Too much work to investigate whether you took a buy or a sell. What you should write is, I took a sell. Let's say you took a sell. I took a sell at this price, and then my stop loss was at this price. That's the easiest way to relay information. Working for a living is hard and has a lot of pressure as well. What is really easy in life and has no pressure? That's fulfilling. Yeah, that's
sleeping.
Yeah. Well, that's life. Life is not easy, man. Life is full of pressures. Trust me, when you run a business, it's even more pressure. More pressure of clients, the pressure your accountant wants information because you want to file taxes, and then pressures of, man, there's pressure from everywhere.
Trust me, having 8 kids is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, if you're Mexican, you got 8 kids to worry about.
A lot of pressure.
Kerwin has 12 kids.
How many kids do you have, Kerwin?
3.
8. Wow.
That's a lie. He had a whole Macy Stadium filled up with kids.
Man, he had 4 last year. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So by now, it should be like 12.
No.
You're like a rabbit, man.
Yeah, man.
It's all them tomahawks.
He doesn't have TV, so he does.
It's all that red meat.
No TV, you have to kill the time.
He ain't got TV, so I got
You didn't have TV 20 years ago.
Magic keys.
Okay.
Magic keys.
What's up, Ted?
Oh, you took a sell. Yeah, I would say wait for a 4-hour to go bearish if you're looking at the 4-hour chart. You need a 4-hour to go bearish and then place a stop. But still, your stop loss is good. I think one problem Magic Keys has solved is the tedious process of closing half positions and moving stops to break even. I mean,
Yeah, I love that.
I'm finding it really useful.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost sold out.
God damn. Better get some building some more.
Got a lot of packaging to do this weekend.
That's now going to be busy.
Yeah, yeah. There are 2 kids right next door, so I told them, hey, I'm gonna give you an hourly wage just to like package them for me.
$1 each. There you go.
Yeah, I get it.
Slave labor right there.
Yeah, man.
Isn't that child abuse? Well, I mean, yes.
No, man, they're 13. I offered them $20. They said we'll take 50. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, okay.
Clever lads. Clever. I saw you coming a mile off.
Yeah, they're like, I'm like, oh god damn, you're not kids anymore. Wow, GJ's still flying over here.
I was just gonna say, it keeps on going.
Yeah, it's gonna fill these wicks over here.
Which wicks?
See, for sells, you needed a 30-minute candle to close bearish below here for a sell, but man, it's just one of those days where GJ's just flying.
Yep.
I hope no one's in the sell right now.
Myself.
It's a new 4-hour for me, so
yeah. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Faff around a little bit.
Wow, man!
Wow! Wow! Yippee! Wow! Remember that something?
If current 15-minute closes above resistance, would you enter? Why? Why, man? Like it's entering a. Look at this. It's approaching that target. So if you are not in GJ buys, and if you want to enter GJ buys, man, you need to tell yourself you have missed the moves.
Yeah, don't play that game.
Yeah, you've missed them.
You played yourself.
How many of them magic keys did you have for kill? When your original order? Was that a lot? Or?
I can't say.
Yeah, bro, come on, Chris.
I can't, because it's just not me. I have a whole team behind me, so I can't say.
Yeah. Plus, magic keys. Do the line.
Magic keys.
Yeah, magic keys are almost sold out. That's what I can say.
Do the line, Chris.
That's good for you, man.
Do the line.
Yeah, it was mainly like I needed a script for MT5. You know, I needed a script for MT5 because there are literally no scripts for MT5. And then this one guy messaged me saying, hey, I'm already working on a script. I'm like, oh, perfect. Then he showed me something. He's like, I'm working on this device. How can I, make this better? So, like we talked in the group and then we got ideas and I relayed the ideas to him and told him how it can be done and how, you can have some text on the MT5 as well. So from there, it just started making different versions. So I think we went through 4 versions before we finalized on the last one. It took like 3 months to finally get it all sorted out. Okay, what's this? Oh, nice. Someone got in buys on GJ here. Very nice. What's this? Your JPY 15-minute buy above 122222. 1220001. Yeah, I think if you go to your JPY right now, and if you want to buy above 1222.00, you would want to see a, let's see here. Yeah, I think above here would be perfect, but you'll need a strong break up. That's the whole thing. I think you need the 4-hour candle to break the high of the previous 4-hour, and then go to the smaller time frames to see if you can find some sort of a support, or if you can find some candle creating a higher low to take that trade for a trend up.
GJ's non-stop today.
Don't stop.
Baby.
Alright, I'm off. See you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Take care, Cabal.
See you later, dude.
It's Kevel, please.
Kevel, come on now.
Kevel.
That's your student, right?
Kevel,
Not
careful.
Keval, it's Kevel.
Kevel.
You keep saying Keval.
Hey, Kevo. Kevo, Kevola.
Hola, say.
Kevola, say.
What?
Que hola, wait.
You killed the VP.
What, Mac?
La cagaste, boludo.
Oh man, you've lost all your Spanish accent, man.
Yo, you
Pistolero,
gotta watch this show on Netflix. It's called El Marginal. It's from Argentina. It's really
Good.
really funny. It's awesome.
El Marginal.
El Marginal, right?
I'm
Hey,
searching.
Raja.
Hey.
Hey, sorry to cut off the conversation, but for gold, do you kind of see it as a 30-minute resistance being formed in a new range? I sent a chart earlier, but could be filling the wick on the 30-minute.
It's also got the support, you know. It's also got the support.
My entry would have been on that retest of this bullish candle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then it makes sense. Like if you're looking for sells and your entry is, you know, somewhere on this candle with stop up over here, then that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then down more potentially. I didn't take it because gold was moving really weird at open. It didn't even move.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't like this at all.
Yeah, 15 minutes a mess as well.
The sell. I mean, this is all so bad.
So messy.
You know, it can work if you're taking the risk, but like for me, if you were to ask me if I would take this trade, I wouldn't take this trade.
Buys or sells? It's a spring.
But you know, I'm wrong most of the time too. So you know. I think the next fireworks I'm waiting for is interest rates for CAD.
Oh, that's at 10?
No. That's at 12. It's not at 10. Ten. Man, there's this new series on YouTube called Hard Times. I've been binge watching that series for like 4 straight days. Hard Time.
Yeah, that was Argentina.
Yeah, I don't know why. I have this feeling that I might do some hard time.
In jail? What?
Yeah, in jail. So I think watching that just makes me.
Have you seen my bad? I don't even know. Have you seen the UK? Oh, not UK. The world stuff is prison on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good.
Not on YouTube, on Netflix. My bad. The guy goes to like different prisons, and they treat him as an inmate, but they know that he's not an inmate, so that makes it even worse.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, look at this. I check my promotions on Instagram. No.
All right, I'll be right back. Probably by NYC Open because there's nothing to do so far. For USD CAD, would you have bought with the bullish candle forming on a 30-minute? Yep, I would have. But then there's CAD interest rates too, so I don't know. And CPI was a dud, so maybe CAD interest rate is going to do something here, so we'll have to wait. And GJ is still continuing bullish. Whoever is holding sells on GJ, man, good luck. Good luck with those sells.
He better in the bank real quick.
Yeah, you better.
There's a deposit due.
Yeah. It's funny because people will make the same mistakes they made in 2019. When price rallies, they take sells. And it's the same thing you did in 2019. What makes you think it's going to change in 2020? Right, Sanad?
I agreed with you.
Boy knows. He knows.
Holy cow, this is...
Yeah, it's annoying me that, to be honest. I didn't really want it to push that high.
I don't want to push it any higher because it's going to go to 145.
And this is what we did last time, Ted, and we missed it. And it's like, God damn it. Because this is the trade we should have took yesterday at that point that's just kind of consolidated on 15 minutes. I think.
This is horrible. This is horrible.
This is going to be another one we miss out again for another 100 something pips.
I mean, next stop is 143,700. Or sorry, 144,700.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hit that now. Oh, man.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Although, saying that, this 4 hours got such a small bottom wick, but this momentum, I don't know whether we're going to even come back. Well, my new 4 hours, sorry, I don't know if that's the same for you guys, but...
Yeah, it's 144,750 is probably the next target. Oh, man, this sucks.
Yeah, for real, dude. For real. But the thing is, at that point, if you're looking on the 4 hour, you literally have 0 to like 45, 300.
Yeah.
We've been finished.
So if you get
twice.
Well, actually,
in a week, I've been finished 3 times.
Oh, Sinan's playing with the screen. What's going on?
It's pressing 4. Is that a 4? Oh no, the plus sign.
I mean, I can't see this daily candle mirroring that other daily candle and going to 145, 300 today. I can't see it, but this is such a good target. I mean, you almost want to just take a buy and just hold it with no stop loss.
I'm just considering maybe the risk, yeah. But I don't know whether it'll come back, how far it'll come back. It's got to come back at some point, but I'm just looking to the left on 4 hour. I just see the gap between just above 800 to like 45, 350. It's kind of like a perfect place of nothingness on 4 hour.
Well, the problem is right now you have GJ at the weekly level, that weekly resistance. But the problem is you still have London close, which is going to drive it even further.
That's what I'm thinking. Do we risk it or not? That's the thing. I mean, I've done for the day trade-wise really, but I mean, I could enter a small one to hold longer term, but.
This was the position that we were talking about yesterday to get in and hold, because this is exactly what I was expecting to happen yesterday. That happens today, and I'm like, because we would have 143,700 or 143,500, and it would just be cruising all.
It's that kind of level there that when I said to you earlier, would you check on 15 minutes and maybe put a buy stop at the top? That was kind of my plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way it goes, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it can consolidate over here, I'll be happy. Because if it consolidates over here, that means it might pull back to 144,300 at the Asian session tonight, and then from there we'll go to 145. That's if anywhere under 144,800. If we can stay under 144,800, I will take buys to 145,300. That would be my next target for tomorrow. And then after that, I don't know what's going to happen. Because 145,400 is a key level for me on the day.
Massively. Yeah, I've just got just under 400. Yeah, is that you looking at? Oh, on daily. Sorry.
Yeah, on daily. Yeah, on daily. Because if you look, there's a candle at December 17th, that bearish candle that pulled all the way down,
Yeah.
And now we're getting the opposite on the other side. So it's going to mirror that candle. And once we clear this traffic at like, well, basically we've started to clear it now on the daily. You have a huge range from 144,500 to 145,400. That's the range. So I'll wait for it to pull back just a bit and then see if we can grab that. Yeah, but GJ is not coming back. We missed the train.
Well, it's definitely not going to 138 again.
No.
So. Yeah, I think we got that down now. We're good. Plus, we got towards the end of this month, we got the Brexit stuff coming next week, so that's going to be pretty key.
Now I want GJ to go down.
Yeah, I said that I really want people to get to their targets at 500 and stuff, but that
exactly. Like we hit our target. This was our target. We called this level. Now I want this to drop down back over to here, and then what I'll do is I'll set myself up for buys over here.
Yeah,
that's what I'll aim to do.
I think if we can get what we got caught out on yesterday, now that'll be real handy. That'll be lovely to see. Otherwise, it's going to really annoy me.
But I bet you say you were done for the day, Chris.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I'll be looking to take. Like, I've been all the
you're not
last week and this week. No.
You're not gonna flip back?
Nah, man. Hell no.
I mean, if I see it, I mean, I've only taken one trade today. So I'm actually waiting for GJ to see how it's gonna set up. If it sets up good by 10, then yes, I might take a trade. If it doesn't, then call it a day.
It's just anticipating that London close move, which is the thing that interests me. To be fair, that's the thing that interests me.
I banked on before your session, and you sell.
Yeah, nice. But like for me now, I think it's just a case of looking at Asian for me, finding another low point entry and then hold into the tomorrow, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And then I was expecting during London to have a nice push, like a big push, like we've been having the whole week, and no, didn't happen. And now we're having this shit right now. Fuck.
Well, at least the analysis on point.
Annoying, yeah, at least, right?
Mm-hmm. Always.
But I'm not doing the same thing as they did yesterday. The whole thing I held about 10 pips. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed that I didn't hold the one from yesterday because that was just over. It was 43.0. And I'll close that just on the basis.
Yeah, 143 even, right?
Yeah, man. I was just unsure about taking that extra position.
Yeah, tonight had about the same entries, and we were holding like champs for no reason.
Still, that's the way it goes. Plenty more trades left, man.
That's the thing is that once you have like an analysis in your head and you stick to that analysis, like as a trader, there's no way you're gonna get out of it unless you get hit by your stop loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, I wasn't changing my bias. I knew it was bullish and it was gonna continue up, but no. I think there was actually something going on in news around that time. 9 a.m. Eastern.
Lakers, you guys have no idea that upper bullish channel in GJ is 152 to 155 in the next 10 days. I don't agree with that. The only reason why I say that is when people make those big calls of those big moves, I agree with the idea that GJ will stay bullish, but the only reason why I don't agree with the time frame of that move is because when you take a deeper look to currency, you can't have that much of a push that quickly, because what happens is it creates an imbalance in the economies. And what I mean by that is if GJ suddenly flies to 155, that is going to create a trade imbalance with, say the yen or people using the pound. And it's going to cost more money to work with people out of the UK. And that kind of shock affects economies. It doesn't mean that we won't get to 152 or 155. It just means that when you think of these long-term moves, like these big bull moves or these big bear moves, they have to go in a bit of a wave pattern, because what that allows for is it allows for commerce and trade to adjust accordingly. The market will always move, obviously to a bull pattern or a bear pattern, but you have to keep in mind what currency is used for. Currency is used for trade, currency is used for commerce, it's used to hedge different financial instruments. So to have that kind of quick volatility with really no catalyst for the volatility will it will hurt the various economies that do trade with that particular pair or that particular currency. So keep that in mind. When you look at specific pairs and you call long-term bull or bear moves, always realize that chances are it's not going to be one straight shot up or one straight shot down. There's going to be a little bit of breathing room there just because of the way currency is utilized throughout the world. And if you take that into account and you understand the deeper meaning behind currency trading, that will allow you to better understand the markets. It's a similar reason why when we look at GJ right now, it hit that weekly level. There's going to be a pullback, because essentially what's happened now is you've created a price level that we had to return to because of the way the market moves and ebbs and flows, but now we're going to get a huge reaction to that price level. So, and if you start to pay a little bit more attention as we hit certain key levels, like a weekly level or a daily level, and you start to correlate that where we are in the market, say for example, today is Wednesday, so Thursday and Friday, we may not have that big of a move further up now because we've completed sort of that weekly candle. Or if we do, where's our next target? So these are certain things to keep in mind. It doesn't mean now that because like this candle's rejecting the weekly area, that now it's a sell. You have to be very cautious with that, because what happens is if you hit a key level and now you're saying, okay, well, we're going the opposite way, the problem becomes, where do we stop moving that opposite way, or where do we stop counter trending, and where do we continue on with the trend afterwards? That's why, like, a lot of people will say, oh, well, I'm selling GJ now because we hit the 500 level. And I say, great, I'm glad that you're selling it. But my caution is, where do you sell it to? Because we're not smart enough as retail traders to figure out where we're going to sell to. You would turn around and say, maybe I would wait for us to set up and continue a buy, because we don't have a overall trend that's saying to sell. The sell is just a pullback to gain more orders to continue that bullish run. So you have to be very careful when you counter trend an overall trend, which is looking on the daily or the weekly. When you see a bullish trend like that, and then you see in the hour or the 4-hour charts that suddenly we have a bearish move, you have to be very cautious of that bearish move. And I tell that people a lot. when I started trading, I did a lot of counter trends. Like I would hit that weekly level or that daily level, and then I would sell. But it also gets you into trouble because now you're always on the trigger finger saying, where are we closing? Is this the bottom of the level? Is this the bottom, right? Where, you know, if you just turned around and waited, you can say to yourself now, okay, I see the rejection here. I can place a buy order probably over here, not right now, but you know, as we start maybe the Asian session, and I know that we may have a pullback here. This candle drops a bit here, and then now with the new daily candle we start moving this way. So I've caught the bottom of or the top of the previous candle, and then now I'm catching the new daily candle as we continue further up. So it's just something to keep in mind as you trade. Everyone's saying gold buys. Gold barely moved.
Yeah, it went about half a pip.
Yeah, gold in the 15-minute candle, it went 10 pips.
Yeah,
it's really nothing. when Raja said all morning GJ was in a range or gold was in a $7 range, we're not breaking out of that range. So
yeah, 15 minutes ever so strange on gold. All the 15-minute candles, nasty looking little area. This has got to be the exhausting kind of area now for GJ. I'm really hoping so.
Yeah, GJ, I think you might get maybe get a little push up, but I think we've hit that weekly level. That actually was called to the T, so good.
Yeah, on
Raja.
that wick. Yeah.
Yeah, good on Raja for calling that level because that was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm just not good enough to hold my trades all the way there.
We need to improve that this year. That's something we have to do.
That's ultimately one of the things I'm working on, and I started working on that towards the end of Q4, really trying to hold trades off the daily and the weekly, getting a little bit better at that. But obviously taking a month off and then coming back, I'm making stupid mistakes. But
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what it is. It's just I don't know whether I see the money figure. If that makes sense, I think that puts me off a bit sometimes, and then I think, oh, that's enough. I'll just take that, and then I think afterwards, I think, well, really, if I'd looked at it a bit more, I could have held that so much longer.
The thing to me is, I'm still not trusting my analysis 100% on the weekly and the daily, and I hate taking losses. So I always look at it, and this is the one thing that's been ingrained in my head because of the way I trade. It's like, well, if I'm up 30 or 40 pips, that's a good chunk of change.
Yeah, man.
But why am I going for 100 pips? But I can see the 100 pip move.
Yes, exactly
That's the thing. So for me now, maybe I have to start another account where, I start with 6 figures or whatever it is, and then get used to building off of that.
Yeah, sensible.
And do something like that. Because technically speaking, today's move with GJ, that's now going to hold. That level is going to hold. 144 is going to hold. I don't see us pushing back down to 143. I think that would be very difficult. If I was trading GJ today, this is the thing is when you're trading the intraday candle, this is where I would have closed. I would have said, okay, I'm done for today. I don't care if the trade goes above this. I don't care about that, but I reached my daily target because technically speaking, the daily target, when you look at it, should have been 144, 100. Yes. Because that was the daily level across the board. This extra move was to the weekly level.
Yeah, that's your bonus money. That's your winner play. I was looking at January the 8th when this kind of move started, in my opinion, and that's kind of I took buys at that point, and I was playing it from there, and I was like, how would I have? I wouldn't have kept it for a week. I wouldn't have held it that long. But when you can see the way the dailies form after the little bullish one on the 10th, from that point there's so much opportunity.
Well,
Especially when it pulled back.
the thing is, when you think about it this way, if you look at the monthly candle, right? You look at last month's on GJ. The perfect play was basically this setup here, which we have happening, is you take buys above this level to go further up, because this is basically going to create a wick. So you're going to have a wick here, and then you're going to do this. This exact setup right here that's happened on the monthly. If you look at the monthly candle blew all the way down here. Everyone's like, oh, sell, sell, sell. It's like, no, the monthly candle is getting ready to fill this wick here, and you can start to see it. So now when you look at the monthly still has room to go to 145, 375, and then 147, right? When you think about it over the next 2 weeks.
Very much so. Yeah, especially when it pulled back as far as the low, and that's right. And it didn't break and keep going, and yeah.
So if you were playing, so if you got in at, say for example, you got in at 143, 578, I would have my stop loss there, and now I'd be just watching the monthly chart. I wouldn't even be watching the daily or the weekly, because the monthly chart is now pushing bullish, and that's what you'd be like. I wouldn't even be worried about this. Like, this wouldn't exist to me.
Yeah, you're basing it on that trade now. On that time frame. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to work on it a little bit more, because I get the moves. It's just, I thought 40, 50, 60 pips, and then you're like, oh man, I could have that. It could be like 160, or it's like I probably will still enter, like you said, wait until Asian or something, enter and catch another 20, 30, 40 pips or something. But it's not a bad way of doing it. But there's got to be a way to, I think, maximise that more. Have a bit more confidence, like you said, on the higher time frames, and just believe in what you. It's just the same, isn't it? But
it is. It just takes a little bit longer, and I think that, like with GJ, it's just getting used to the pullbacks. I think because we get all these pullbacks, and it just becomes stupidity, right? Like if you turned around and you look at the monthly wick on GJ, like you got a huge monthly wick. All those orders now on the monthly chart, they have to go somewhere. So where are they going? They're going probably up to 148. You know that when you just look at the monthly, you can see that it's just it's going to go to 148. It has to, based on the way the monthly candle's being formed.
That's about it's about 300 pips.
That's what I mean, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you can, so Raja's got the monthly chart up, perfect. So you can see this is where we had this level, right? Look at this. This all has to be filled. So the question becomes, well, how's it going to fill, and what kind of risk to reward do you want to have? Because essentially now, if you took a trade at 140, like 144, whatever it was, or 143, you're in over here. Your stop loss now goes over here, and this now starts to move up to this level here. And that's what you'd be doing. So really, if you were in a trade anywhere over here or anywhere over here, at this point, now you're just watching the monthly candle. Like I wouldn't even be flipping to any other charts other than the monthly chart. And the best thing about this is that if the next candle pulls down a bit here on the monthly, this will then drive all the way up. And then what do you see? You can turn around and take a look at this and say, hey, this is a zone that we're going to probably tap into, right? Just as if we're tapping into this zone right now. So the good thing about this is, if you know that these are two zones on your monthly, then you're playing off this area here. So once we leave this zone here, which is technically this area here, we're driving up to here.
Yeah, and then that's massive as well.
Yeah, it's just a matter of it doing something like that afterwards. So that's how I envision it, and that's how I plan, pulling up that way.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm going to work on that a bit more. Because I mean, even this wick left is at least, it's another 300 pips left in this monthly wick.
Which is great for us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So what you would do for this monthly wick is, obviously this week you would see where we finish off, and then next week what you do is plan the weekly wick, and then follow that weekly, which should drive us up to finish off the month.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
So that's how you would do the analysis for next week, is you would follow the weekly and say, okay, this weekly candle has gone bullish, the next one's gone up, and you know, we're going to finish off to 145, 645, and then eventually to 147, and that will fill the range as you look through the weekly, right? So
yes, yeah,
you're going to come right back up to here. This is where we're going to end up based on the end of the month and next week's candle. Next week's candle should do that.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you're getting back to your top zone levels.
That's right. And then
well.
then we start the descent again. We'll do some, and then we'll wait for something like this, and then we'll wait for that over here, and then you have a descent again. And now you're playing the range game.
Yeah.
Because we know GJ's range is like 141 to like 148.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just looking at I've got, on my weekly, I've got like a box drawn thing. Yeah.
And this pattern here, all you do is look on the 15-minute charts, and you see this pattern all the time. The next candle does this. So it's just going to take a week to do it instead of 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just the overcoming of the thought of, the stop loss levels and stuff. I think.
Well, that's the toughest thing with GJ. Like, this is the one thing that I battle, and this is the one thing I enjoy about trading is like when we have these discussions, it's a strategy session. It's not like how much am I winning or how much am I losing. It's how do I beat this?
Yeah, 100%.
Because yesterday yesterday I took a loss, which was stupid because I extended my stop loss, but it was more the fact that, man, if I had waited one extra day, I would have had that move.
Yeah. Yeah, it's close to being pretty precise, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, we knew it was coming. So
that's right.
We've already analysed it to the point. It's like we're just a bit too ahead of the game. We need to just calm down.
That's right. But now the good thing about this is when we plan for the monthly candles, we you can start working into February and you can start putting that together. And with the proper risk to reward, you can have a massive swing trade with GJ. And it's the same thing with gold. I mean, you can do the same thing with gold. Gold is probably going to go right back up to
80s.
Yeah, the 80s, right? Like 1568. Like you can see that happening. So what are we waiting for with gold on the higher time frames is you're waiting for this breakout. Like once this breaks out, then what do we have? We have, essentially a clean move right over here. So you know that. So what do? You sit back and you say, okay, anything above this level here, I'm going to take buys, and then I ride it all the way back up.
Yeah. It's like we were saying yesterday on the weekly on gold, how it's formed them kind of ejections to the bottom, which gives you a good, and now you're getting the same kind of thing on daily.
That's right.
Which shows that we're going to probably keep going.
Yeah, and
sign of it anyway.
And your catalyst for this move is this area right here, right? So what's happened is you had the rejection in this area here, which matches up with these rejection areas here, or whatever you want to say. But what's happening is you can start to see now we're slowly starting to leave that area and now head back up. Then the question becomes, okay, what is the catalyst that we're looking for to head back up? Well, there's probably going to be discussions about, the trial with Trump on the impeachment. So now you can say, okay, that's probably going to be the catalyst that'll drive us to this level. And then you turn around and you say, okay, well, what would bring us back down? You would say, okay, the economy, the U.S. economy is doing well, and there's more news about the U.S. economy that drives us back down.
Yeah.
So those are your two catalysts, and those are the two items that you'd be putting in the back of your head to make a decision on where you believe price is going. So when you look at this area here, what is my decision? Okay, up means, impeachment or instability economically. And then this, down over here, you're saying USD strength, right? Like these are the two catalysts that you would say, okay, this is going to drive me up and this is going to drive gold back down. So those are the two things that you would be watching for in the news to then help your bias with trading gold at that point.
Yeah.
And when the technicals line up with the fundamentals, then it's even easier.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's so much, there's a fight going on. So you have the Trump trial in Senate that's creating this sort of bullish movement and the instability in the world economy, blah, blah, blah. And then in the background, you always hear, well, the S&P and the Dow index is at the highest rate it's ever been. So why would gold continue to rally up?
Yeah.
So that's why you're getting this range. And when people ask, like, why is gold ranging? It's because we don't have one fundamental factor that trumps the other. Right now, they're both fighting each other. So you'll get these $7 ranges, which Raja was talking about. So yeah, you'll hit the resistance here, and then now all of a sudden it'll drop back down here, and you're like, well, why did it do that? It should have kept doing this. It's like, no.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, when they line up, it makes things 10 times easier, just to get continuation or whatever, or break of that area. Or yeah, interesting. I reckon we can fix this whole long-term stuff this year, for sure.
Yep. That's my goal this year. Try and start swing trading a little bit more and help the community swing trade. But I mean, once again, it's the same thing as intraday trading. It's just you look at the higher time frames and you match up the candles, and you just have to set up your risk reward. And that's what the good thing about Magic Key does. Magic Key, I push the button and it tells me everything.
Good.
It's just I don't like looking at this large number of
exactly
like a $90,000 loss for like a $300,000 win, and I'm sitting here going, ugh.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I'm like, really? I don't really like that. I mean, I can get like a $30,000 win with like a $5,000 stop loss.
Exactly. That's the whole. I mean, this is kind of going from where we are now, because I used to do the swing side, and I've come to what you guys are kind of doing on the lower time frame. But I still see my old style of doing stuff. So I mean, I used to do that, but I mean, I never really was concerned about the monetary side. But now, for some reason, I'm kind of. It's not the money; it's the percentage, which I'm concentrating on more now. Because the longer time you've got to hold it, you know for a fact that your stop loss is going to be bigger. You're aware of it, and over time, I think it'll get back into it again. I never had an issue with it before. But I think now I've come down to the lower time frames, like you said, you can make that gain in 10, 15 pips, and it's like, it's fine, a lot less risk, makes more sense.
The challenge is, and I think this is the baby steps to this theory, and this is what I've been trying to do, is if you can start the beginning of the week and map out, say on Tuesday, like what we tried to do yesterday with GJ, to say, hey, it's going to fill the weekly wick. Mm-hmm. If you can map that out more accurately, you can then obviously turn your scalp into a swing trade, which we were trying to do yesterday. And that's a better move. And then what you have to do is, instead of moving your stop loss up, what you'll need to do is you'll need to take two positions. So you do two positions. One position you run to like, your 10 or 20 pips that you're comfortable with. Your next position, you have to move to basically just break even. Like you can't keep moving your stop loss up, because with GJ, GJ pulled back, it went all the way to like 143,700, and then it pulled all the way back down to 143,300 this morning.
Yeah.
Like it was a 40 pip move, but it never broke back down past that key level of 143,300. And then now it took off again. But if you place your stop loss at 143, say 500, you just got crushed.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah, that's exactly what happened this morning. I was in a good position. It's brilliant, but I entered another position around that level, which that trade lost. But I knew I was covered, because if where my stop loss was going to cover that percentage-wise, I wasn't in any problem. But what I didn't make was that move of the stop loss, which then created that overall issue. So if I'd not moved it, man, I'll be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely something to think about and work on.
So basically here, I put my stop at break even now.
So I saw you take that trade.
Yeah, I was paying attention. I did see it.
That's all what I want to say. So you guys can continue.
Because I'm watching take the trade, and I'm like, oh man, he's counter trending this because he knows it's going to drop like 30 or 40 pips for the next hour as it pulls back from London.
Yeah, I saw the 30-minute here break the low of the previous one. Now I'm like, well, it broke it. What are the chances it's going to go back up and break the high?
No, it's not going to break it now. We got confirmation it'll probably pull back a bit.
Yeah.
But that's good, because like Raja can do those trades because you're under total risk management, and you're like, hey, I know what is happening overall in the market. Like once you're able to read the charts fairly well, you can make those trades like this and have a very high win rate, because you're not getting greedy. Like Raja's not going to hold this trade down to 143. He's going to get out after 10 or 15 pips and be like, hey, I caught the pullback on a major level, and you can be very profitable at those points. But the problem is people think that this is just going to die now forever, and it's not. And you get stuck in this dream world of like, oh, I called the top, and it's like, no, you just called the pullback. Like, you have to understand the difference between a pullback and a top. There's nothing to say that the pound is suddenly going to weaken. Like, obviously, if it does, I mean, that's great. But I mean, there's nothing right now that tells me that, yeah, all of a sudden we're going back to 141. And this is like the top of the trade and we're going all the way back down again. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, completely. Especially after what we just discussed about high time frame movements and stuff. It's yeah, it's a good entry though to get in and take that option. Looks like a late night then. Looks like I'm going to stay up for Asian tonight then, just to see if I can get one.
Say no to Asian.
No, I used to do it all the time, so it's kind of like I'll only give it the first maybe half hour or so. If I can see something that's interesting, I probably will, because then I can hold it. Because the pullbacks in Asian are pretty small most of the time, so if you get into profit, I find you don't tend to get stopped out so much because of volume. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I've been trading Asian lately, and I noticed it continues throughout like all of London and New York, at least for the pound mostly.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying for a long time, is to try and maximise the Asian low, and when it pulls away from that into London. I used to do that a lot when I was kind of first out. It used to work really well. It's kind of the same now. It's a little bit different, but it tends to have that push, and if it does continue in London, then up to pre-New York, it seems to continue quite well. So you can actually maximise pretty well.
So you know what I was thinking? I was thinking buy stop on USD CAD at 1.30550. But then again, that buy stop might get activated by the spread, because there's going to be a huge spread bounce. Yeah, I think like 1.30600 would be okay.
Where are you targeting? Kind of back to the top range.
For buys? Oh man, I'm targeting out of this. I'm targeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's only that's a 40 pip move for interest rates.
Yeah. Because usually with interest rates, if they change, then the direction it continues to keep going that way, doesn't it? After the event, for a little while.
You know what I'm gonna do? Chris? I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Above it.
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take a buy. Right now, I took a buy on USD CAD.
Right. Well, based on that low.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
This is a 15 pip stop loss here. And if the news is good, I'm targeting all the way up there.
Yep. There should be zero slippage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
what, so you're expecting USD CAD to fly up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No rate change?
Yeah, man. I mean.
All right.
Safe. Hang on, let me work this out in my head.
No rate change, USD CAD flies. I agree.
It's a 15. Yeah. Like, yeah, this, I'm risking, what, 50% of my profits from today. So whoever takes this trade, just understand that.
It's news.
Yeah, this news. Just need to understand that part. What's GJ doing? Oh, GJ.
GJ's already done.
GJ
man.
almost hit take profit over here.
Yeah, jackpot. Nice work, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna close GJ here because CAD news is coming in. I forgot about GJ.
I was watching it for you. I was looking at my screen. I was like, that's got to be close now.
No, because I was looking at the USD CAD chart for so long. I'm just like, can it whipsaw? Yeah, so I mean, if it hits stop loss, I lose my profits from GJ, basically. It hits stop loss. What can you do? Nothing, right? Because it hits stop loss. So just be aware, man. Just don't be.
I mean, I think you're good. It's better to have 15 stop loss right now than trying to get a buy order activated with the 20 or 30 split, pip slip.
Yeah, you know, and at the same time, I mean, okay, so usually I use a 6 lot, so this is a 3 lot on this one. So half my lot size is 2. So if someone uses a 1 lot, you're using a 0.5 lot or 0.25 lot.
Yeah.
You know, because just it's news, and you don't want to hear me say later, well, why were you being stupid? You know, if you take a loss, a big loss. So you just gotta keep that in mind.
Manage yourself.
Even though it's a big bearish move, that big move must be corrected, man.
Yeah.
Has to have any correction somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, this buy I took like when that news happened. Oh, what's that noise? So we're in it. But on the flip side, if it comes down, this thing now, ooh, gold is pushing up here.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, when people say that, I worry a bit because I've got buy stops ready, but it's nowhere near that yet. So
yeah. If it comes,
saying, no, it's flying. It's done like one bit.
Maybe a sell.
Diamond buys at 15.57.
Nice. Sell stop at 1.30420 would make sense too. Like if someone's looking for pending orders. I think for pending orders, a sell stop 1.30400 and a buy stop around like 1.30600. That's like 10. That's 10 pips away. Because I've seen USD CAD spike up 10 pips and then come all the way down for interest rates. That happened to me once, so I remember that very clearly. It activated my 10 lot and it fell 80 pips.
God damn.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
That's a wake up call.
That was a fucking slap in the face, man.
Yeah, I'd need a lot of coffee after that.
Like, because before that, I remember I was up like 500-600 something like that for the day, and yeah, that took me down 7,500, man.
Yeah,
so
shit.
that wasn't a good feeling at all.
No. Yeah, I think we've all been there at some point.
People asking about magic keys. Yeah, we deliver worldwide. You go to the website, all information is there. It's free shipping. It takes 7 days, whatever days it takes. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think a sell stop here would be okay. Okay. What am I risking? I'm risking $400 there. You don't think that home sales will have any impact on USD CAD? Yeah, I don't think so, man. Because okay, hold on. That's not the right time. Right time is right here. Because like interest rates, CAD interest rate is like that very big giant person on one end of the seesaw, and this home sales is a very, very small skinny person on the other end of the seesaw. So you have to weigh which news outweighs the other. So I think interest rates will have a very, very big impact on USD CAD.
See how far the fat man bounces. If this happens to like pull up now, for example, would
Yeah.
you be interested? Would you consider closing it?
No, I still have it open. I'm gonna put a sell stop over here too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sell stop is gonna go at what's this? 1.30425. 1.30425.
Gonna make a bucket.
Gonna make a
Don't, because I want to enter.
All right.
I'm doing ever so well.
I follow Raja. I took a buy. I'm in at 130, 514, and then my stop loss is 130, 357.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right.
I hope you're all the best. I'm not doing it. I'm not. That's one thing for this year.
Well, you can just put like a small.
No,
lot.
dude, stop it.
Just for fun, you know.
No, I'll make my money today. I'm good.
Yeah, man. Just for fun, Chris. Let's go, man.
Let's just
go,
drop a 10 lot for a bit of fun. We'll be, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh.
I have a buy limit, 400 level. A stop loss at 300. Let's see how it goes. And I have a buy order already.
Oh, nice.
Let's do it.
Oh, buy is up 5 pips.
Oh, rakeel.
Yo.
Let's
I
go,
just
my
closed.
partner.
I closed the EJ, man. No buts.
Oh, nice.
Let's go. Let's go. It's gonna fly. Trust. Just give me 10. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
I just closed.
Just closed. 20 pips. Yeah. Oh no!
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. I'm gonna buy a fucking Lambo, nigga.
Wow.
Yo.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I'm
I'm
gonna
really
buy a
happy.
bike.
Oh. Fuck off, man.
50 pips, man.
Wow.
Roger, how much you make, bro?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a nice move, man.
Man, I made like 400.
Take profit, God.
Where is Mac when you need him?
Yeah.
You know, I'm
He's
real
biting his
pleased.
finger right now.
Really pleased I didn't enter. You know, awesome.
Well, if you guys took a gamble here with us, just give a like to the live stream.
send me some donations because I didn't make a thing.
That was a nice move, Raja. Thank you so much, buddy.
Did you all get slipped a lot? Or,
God
Jeez,
bless you,
man.
brother. God bless you.
No, I didn't get slipped at all because we were in the move.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's a good play, man. Good play.
Yeah.
Market order.
Yeah. Get in there before the news. Because we live in Canada. We know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, good work, man. That's ever so good. Well done.
And then Ted close, and 2 seconds later, 10 pips
Flies
more.
up again.
I just looked at it on my screen and it just appeared, and I was like, "Wow."
It was fun.
I owe Raja a dinner.
Yes.
Dinner.
Just the dinner, man.
That's a
Come
car.
on.
It's got to be a car.
Wow, look at that move.
Minimum a car, man.
What a fucking move. Well, we
Respected. They corrected the drop.
Yep.
We really win today.
We did
Yeah.
because we called it.
man.
We live in Canada and we said it's going up.
Mm-hmm.
There was no hesitation.
No.
Yeah, man.
And the thing is, as well, we discussed it on that pull down prior with like
Oh,
said,
it's still
the
going.
third, and it's flying.
Yeah, man. Tough.
Not.
Wow.
That's
That
like,
daily level. It smashed that daily level. Exactly what we talked about.
Yes, sir.
wow, that's a 50 pip
Solid.
move. 60 pips.
It's still
Yes,
going.
sir. Step by
Did you-
step.
Are you
Is
still
it-
in it?
Anyone
No,
still
I
in?
closed. I closed.
Wow, man.
God damn.
Wow. Yeah.
Well done if you took that, man. That's fair play. That's a good
That
go.
That
was a
was-
nice play.
That was amazing, Raja. Again, I should have held, but man. Because that was
Wow.
just like the other interest rate that we did the other time where I made that huge score, and it was like literally there was no whipsaw. I just went. And
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
it kept
okay, cool.
going for a
Yeah.
good like 30 minutes after. It kept going and going and going, and got to the next. I think it's weekly levels or something.
Yeah.
Last time, I can remember that one. Oh shit! Here we go. It's gonna just do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
impressive.
congrats, guys. Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well played.
Wow, still going.
Well
Yeah,
played.
Now,
Ted,
Yeah.
sorry. You have the magic tips, man. Why don't you close 50% of your orders and let the
Because
rest
I'm
run?
an idiot. I'm an
Because
idiot.
we were talking about it for the last
Sometimes,
half
you know,
hour.
happens to anybody.
No excuses.
I'm an idiot. That's
Come
why.
so whoever took that trade and made money, you need to go to this website over here, and you need to click the buy button right over here.
You need to go buy a magic key.
You need to get
Because that's what
simple
made that
magic
happen.
keys.
That made
Exactly.
that happen. That's it.
Look at this. You open this for your risk. You close half. Stop loss at entry, and man,
I had such a good entry, 103,514, and it's at 131, 174 right now. Jeez.
man, we're so good, man.
The thing is, I mean, Ted for like half an hour talking about how to hold trades longer. So
I
it's
know.
closed out.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't expect it to keep going like that, to be honest. I thought it would go up and keep going, but not as far as that.
Someone asked, "Would you guys swing this USD CAD trade?"
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, if you're in it right now. I mean, but the only thing is, think about it too. It's gonna pull back. It's gonna pull back a bit, like because this is a huge impulse move. So keep that in mind.
This was the swing trade right here. Because if a regular swing trade is like 50, 60 pips, this was a swing trade.
Yeah. Don't call top. So.
Oh, GG also came down. Nice.
Yeah. Man.
Still going, man.
That was such an easy trade too. It's just like everything with the rates were gonna stay the same, and it was gonna push USD CAD to the moon.
I'm blaming you guys for being like drumming into me like you've got to be disciplined. So I was like, yep.
Curran told you. Raja said it. He told everyone to take a small position, take a buy.
He did, and I was like,
wow.
No, it's such a good move, man. Well played.
He told everybody.
So
that was a signal. Actually.
Yeah, you gotta listen to people. We live in Canada. We know what's going on.
So any final words for this trade?
Shitty economy.
Yeah, I told you we have a shitty economy. I told you that.
Yeah. That's good work, man.
Why did we trade USD CAD on a GBP CAD? Because USD and CAD are the highest correlated pairs together because they're the largest trade partners. I did put 100 lot on that trade. I made 14,000.
It only moved like about an inch, and it's like.
I should have held it a little bit more. I think I could have got more out of it.
Where did you actually close it at?
I closed at the 137.03.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, I should have just let it run a little bit more, but that's okay.
So any last words for this trade here?
Jealousy.
What? Oh.
Jealousy.
Envy.
Yeah, man. FOMO to that for sure.
Ha! Where's Gartek?
Gartek, are you here?
Yeah, we gotta do biceps today, man. It's a good day.
Rakeel,
Hey.
you only take protein once you do the gym session or also in the mornings?
No, just after the gym session, and the rest of my diet is just normal diet.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. I'm getting pretty powerful now.
I can see in your trades.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this trade, I think it was just like about the fact what I'm willing to put on the table to win. Because like I heard Ted say earlier that, like a trade he was planning, he was risking 90,000 for 300,000. And I'm there thinking, man, you know what? If I hold it, I'm only risking whatever I'm risking, and the upside is much, much more than that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying about holding a scalping to lock a longer term trade. It's a good way of doing it if you can.
Yeah.
Well, this one was pretty easy because of the fact it kept dipping, right? And we called it earlier this morning when we talked about the CPI, and I was like, CPI is bullshit. Like, nothing's going to happen with CPI because it's getting priced in for the rate. And because we tanked so hard, it was obvious that they were going to hold the rates. And that's the reason why we had that pullback all the way down, and it just kept flying. So that's good. But it also helps when you live in the country. That's the biggest takeaway from this is when your pulse is on the country that you live in it's so much easier to trade because like this is second nature to me. Like I know the Canadian economy's in the shitter anyways, and I know they're not going to move the rates. So this is an easy play. Where if you don't live in Canada, say you're like in the UK or you're in Europe or something like that, you might not be as aware of that. So that's why this is tougher. It's the same thing like when we talk about the UK stuff, you know, Chris is in the UK, he can speak to that like it's second nature for him, where, you know, that's sort of how you have to bounce those ideas and just understand that what's making the most sense of that.
That's why I had to ask the questions earlier, because how I perceived it over here with your interest rates and stuff and how your economy is. So.
Yay, so everybody made money. Yay.
Looks great.
All right, I'm going to the gym.
I'm going to go too.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Take care, everybody.
Take care, guys.